trusting that you'll take care of things on the field. If you have any questions, seek us out. If we have questions, we'll let you, okay? So, Meadowdale, you're the Panthers, a coin with the big T, big H, it's your call.
We're going to call tails.
Going to call tails. Take a step to the ground. It's heads. Snohomish, your decision. Do you want it now? Okay, you receive. Which way do you want to kick? Okay, so going around that way, put your back to the hole. Snohomish won the toss and elected to receive. All right, gentlemen, hands. We'll get going in about. Okay, good luck.
Friday Night Lights in for Thursday night here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Snohomish High School campus as Snohomish High School hosting the Meadowdale Mavericks in Wesco 3A South action. Meadowdale atop the 3A South, undefeated at 6-0, 7-1 overall. Snohomish entrenched in the middle of the pack, third place right now, 4-2 in the conference. A big one here as we're down the home stretch of the regular season, getting ready for playoffs. What does this team mean specifically for Snohomish team that's still battling for position?
Well, for Snohomish, a couple things. We have something that they haven't really done a whole lot of in the last few years is, well, they've been getting better. They still haven't had that signature win, a win over a team that, you know, is on paper better than they are. And so for them, they really, going into November when the playoffs start happening, they need a win like that just for confidence sake. Plus, a win tonight could really help them avoid sort of this Kansas City tiebreaker situation that could be looming, depending on how some other games tonight and tomorrow shake out. Where if they lose tonight and they have to go into that tiebreaker, then it's really, there'll be 3 or 4 shortened games with everything on the line as far as do you go to the playoffs or not. So they would like to avoid that. And then for Meadowdale, they've already clinched the West Coast South. So right now they already know that they're going to play the Metro number 8, and that's going to be decided Saturday night. So right now they're looking to start playing their best football going into the playoffs because they want to be peaking at the right time.
Sure, that's the voice of Luke Windsor, who'll be providing our color commentary today. I'm Mike Kennett, and once again we're here at Veteran Memorial Stadium as the Snohomish Panthers get ready to take on the Meadowdale Mavericks. We were here a couple weeks ago, got to see Snohomish in action, and their trio of stars led by Brendan Jodock at the quarterback, and then you got Keegan Stitch in the backfield, and Johnston, the youngster wide receiver there. The three of them provide a lot of the offensive attack, but Meadowdale is going to provide a much more staunch defense than they saw a couple weeks ago.
Well, yeah, the Meadowdale, they play solid defense. They held a very potent Emmett Woodway offense to just 14 points last week. And really, other than the Monroe game, Meadowdale's defense has been really solid all season long. And really the Monroe game, which was their opener, you can throw that out the window because Monroe's been doing that to everybody that they played so far this year. So in games like this, your stars need to be stars. And then you usually need 1 or 2 other kind of role player guys, whoever that might be, to step up and provide a lift too, especially when the opposing defense tries to take away the big play capabilities of Stitch and Johnston.
And this game moved to Thursday as opposed to tomorrow night. Talk a little bit about the reasoning behind that as there's that jumble in the middle of the pack here in the Wesco 3A South.
Well, if there is that Kansas City tiebreaker, that would be played on Monday, so they want to move. They moved this game up to tonight to give the teams, if that does take place, an extra day of rest, and also to prepare for. Really, it would be 3 or 4 mini games on Monday, at which site unknown yet, because we don't even know if we're going to have that. Sure. But in case that could happen, that's why there are a lot more games being played tonight in Wesco.
And we're getting set here for the national anthem on the field. We'll pause and listen to our national anthem and pay respects to our country. And you're listening to STSPN.com.
VideoFide creates the ultimate outdoor protection system on batteries. The OMV is a totally wireless detector camera that can be installed anywhere without wires or power cables. When the motion sensor detects an intruder, the OMV sends video alerts of what caused the alarm to a central station for immediate review and dispatch. VideoFide delivers faster police response and protects remote assets by helping law enforcement catch the bad guy.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium here at Snohomish High School. Luke Windsor, Mike Kennett here to bring you some Wesco 3A South action. The undefeated top of the division Meadowdale Mavericks taking on the 4-2 Snohomish Panthers in a game with big implications as we get ready for the playoff push. It's senior night, so emotion's going to be running extra high here for the Panthers. And how does that team get back in the game, get back ready after the senior day ceremonies here?
Well, for as a coach, what you tell the underclassmen is send the seniors out right.
Sure.
As in, do everything you can so that on senior night they go out with a win. And for a senior, like the one senior night I had as a player, we won, and we were in a situation more like Meadowdale where we already kind of had our destination for the playoffs kind of set, but we still didn't want to lose on senior night.
Sure.
And it's really just a matter of being able to put sort of the emotions aside of last game and knowing that I don't want to have that feeling of the last time I walk off this field with an L.
Sure.
And especially when Snohomish faces some adversity, that's kind of a feeling they may have to fall back on.
Yeah. Snohomish won the toss, and they've elected to receive to start the game. Want to get off to a quick start against this daunting opponent that they've got against within the Meadowdale Mavericks. And I will be able to talk eventually here during this game. A little rattled from the traffic getting up here.
You'd think people around here would have practiced driving in the rain, but you'd think that.
You'd think. But Johnston and Stitch back to receive for Snohomish and get this thing underway. I think we're going to be in for quite the game here tonight. And our officials hopefully keep good tabs on the action. Murray Gordon, the referee, Gio Newland, the umpire, Jim Broughton, and John Jay, the linesman and line judge, respectively, Bill Miley, the back judge. And we're underway. A short kick popped it up, caught at the 40, and handled by Snohomish. They'll take over at their own 40-yard line. Was that a little almost an onside type of play there?
That, and it's also we don't want to willingly give the ball to Stitch or Johnston.
And see what they can do with it.
Yeah, so you sacrifice a little bit of field position to keep the ball out of their hands.
Brandon Jodock, the quarterback for the Panthers. 6'1", 85-pound senior on senior night, looking for a big win for his team. Jodock out of the shotgun, takes a snap, and it's Stitch. We're going to call number 27's number quite a bit, but he was stuffed right at the line.
Yeah, really no room for him to run. The great job by the Meadowdale defensive front. Levi Kowalski, Killer Kowalski maybe, number 54 was there on the stop and holding such a gain of a short one.
They give him one, so 2nd down and 9 here for Jodock and this Panthers offense. This time looking to throw a little screen pass to Stitch, get him the ball another way, and he gets across midfield, makes the guy miss, and gets to the near side. He's got across the 45 and brought down at the 43-yard line. A nice little pickup, finding another way to get 27 the ball.
Any way you can get Keegan the ball in space is a good thing, and that time they took advantage of the very aggressive Meadowdale front four. Invited them up the field, and it got Stitch in behind them for the screen pass.
And 1st down and 10 for the Panthers. Jodock once again out of the gun. Got a man in motion, flips it. This Ty Roth, who's going to the far side, cuts it upfield across the 40, brought down there. Pickup of about 4 on the play.
And that actually counts as a passing play for Snohomish because it was a forward little pitch there. Again, it's kind of a version of fly sweep, except now it's a passing play, and Roth was able to turn the corner and get a nice gain on 1st down.
2nd down and 7, this time slinging it out to the near side. It's complete, and across the 35 is Cole Bride.
And just a little quick screen to Bride, the wide receiver, just right there. They take advantage of some soft play up in the Meadowdale secondary, but there is a flag down on the far side of the field.
Flag on the play.
It's against Meadowdale.
Illegal substitution. The result of the play, penalties declined.
So decline the penalty on the illegal substitution. Snohomish, as we see, gets up to the line, plays in a hurry.
Yeah.
That caused a little confusion for the Meadowdale defense.
Well, I think Meadowdale runs some no-huddle too, so you'd think they'd be used to that by now, but you never know sometimes.
So first down and 10 for Joe Dock and this Panthers offense, moving the ball early. Hands it off to Stitch up the middle. Moving the pile. Gets down to the 25-yard line.
And good initial surge by the Snohomish offensive line. Stitch got about 2 or 3 yards upfield before he ever got touched, and then he did the rest, pushing his way forward for a nice gain on first down.
Picked up about 7 yards here, so second down and 3. Hands it off to Stitch once again, breaks a tackle in the backfield, gets across the 20, good enough for a first down, brought down at about the 16.
And again, with Keegan Stitch, he runs so hard, so arm tackles like that, what we saw early on in that play, they're just not going to work with him. You really have to hit him with your shoulder and your chest and then wrap up.
5'10", 190, runs with a lot of power, and we've seen him with some nice moves when he gets into the open field as well. So first down, Joe Dock this time keeps it himself. Looks like he's going to run it across the 15, gets near the 10-yard line and pick up a few.
Really a bad decision there by Joe Dock. He should have given that to Stitch, but he decided to keep it himself. But fortunately, he was able to make that man miss in the backfield and was able to get a nice gain on first down.
Pick up of 6, second down and 4. This time it is Stitch coming to the near side. Tries to get the edge, gets across the 10 down at the 7.
That was an interesting play there because it looked like Snohomish had called a quarterback counter where Joe Dock would fake it to Stitch and keep himself because they pulled 2 linemen going the opposite way of where Stitch ended up going. So I don't know if Joe Dock made a change on the fly or if that was just a design misdirection play by Snohomish.
Bring up third down and 1 here in the early goings. 8:53 on the clock in the first quarter. Joe Dock once again out of the shotgun. Third down and 1. Fakes the handoff, is going for a little fade route in the corner, looking for Johnston. That one he wasn't going to be able to catch. A little bit of a, I don't know, what do you think of that play call? Third down and 1 going for a fade in the end zone.
That tells me that they're going for it on fourth down.
Fair enough,
and
as they are.
And good coverage there by Jaden Jackson, the corner, who has matched up with Johnston on that play.
So fourth down and 1 for the Panthers. This time a quick throw, gets it out to Ty Roth, who picks up the first down and a couple more. It'll be first and goal from the 2-yard line.
Well, what Snohomish will take advantage of on that play is Meadowdale moved a safety over top of Johnson for double coverage to take that fade away. But what that did is that meant there was going to be one less guy to cover that wide receiver screen there to Ty Roth.
First down and goal for the Panthers. Joe Dock takes the snap, shovels it off to Stitch on the near side, trying to break a tackle, pushing for the end zone, not going to make it. As a host of Meadowdale tacklers led by number 3, Will Schaefer.
Yeah, Schaefer and the rest of the Meadowdale defense does a good job really just stringing that out to the sideline, not giving Stitch any room to cut up the field.
Second down and goal from the 1-yard line. Man in motion, Joe Dock instead hands it to Stitch, who goes straight up the middle and into the end zone for the first score of the game on senior night. The Snohomish Panthers up 6-0 with 8:15 left in the first quarter.
And what happened there, that man in motion caused the Meadowdale defense to kind of, because they saw the little fly sweep earlier in the drive, they had to honor that, and it caused them just enough hesitation by the linebackers so they couldn't fill in their run gaps and stop Stitch short of the goal line. Impressive
drive there to open the game by the Panthers. They moved the ball at will, and hopefully that's a sign to come for the Panthers. Meadowdale going to have a chance to answer after the extra point, which is up and good. 7-0 on senior night for the Snohomish Panthers. 8:15 remaining in the first quarter. Really nice drive, mixing it up with the pass and the run. We're going to see a heavy dose of keeping Stitch throughout this game, but getting guys like Ty Roth involved early on with the passing game, some of those short passes, that could be a sign of things to come.
Well, yeah, early on, I think, because on one play they did show they're going to double cover Johnson, so getting the ball to some of the other guys early on can open things up for Johnston later in this game. And it's just a good balance of run and pass on that drive. Nothing really down the field, but eventually if they hit enough of those quick wide receiver screens, they'll suck enough of the Meadowdale defense up, and then maybe a pump and go to get something deep.
So Meadowdale looking to get the ball here for the first time tonight. Deshaun Butler and Jaden Jackson back to receive for the Mavericks. 8:15 to go here in the first. Taylor DeVries to kick it for the Panthers. Little squib kick. Going to get all the way back to Jaden Jackson, who picks it up at the 11-yard line, coming to the near side. And brought down across the 25 at about the 28-yard line. That's where the Mavericks will take over. And for the first time tonight, we'll get to see senior captain Drew Tingstad for the Meadowdale Mavericks, 6'3", 220-pound quarterback.
What you also don't see very often is, as his defensive position is for a quarterback listed as a nose tackle.
That is unusual. He's in there in the mix on defense.
I think that may have been more of a joke because I don't think we're going to see him.
I didn't see him in there on defense. But Tingstad is going to be out of the shotgun as well in the backfield with him. Keela Marshall. And early on, we've got a flag here. Meadowdale player, offensive lineman, is cheering like it was an encroachment of some sort, but
Start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
our official disagreed, and that was a false start. They'll move it back 5 yards. It'll be first and 15.
Anytime the situation where both the sets of linemen move, they're always going to point at the other guy and say, no, he moved first.
Yeah, nobody says, yeah, it was me. And Kingston hands it off to Marshall, and he'll move the pile forward and get close to the original line of scrimmage. Pick up about 5 yards.
Interesting formation that Meadowdale is running. It's shotgun, but it's an I-back formation. Just off, both backs are off to one side, and that's when they ran a power play where you pulled the backside guard, so have the guard and the fullback leading up into the hole. And good little surge there on first down.
Kingston, the shotgun, looking to pass this time. He and his receiver were not on the same page. He was looking for Zach Plummer, the tight end, who continued to run upfield, whereas Kingston looked for him to kind of do a little a shorter route. I don't know if it was a swing pass.
Well, Tingstad thought his tight end was going to run an out route, and I believe Plummer, he was running a wheel route, which is an out and up.
Yep.
So, yeah, definitely some miscommunication there by those two.
Kingston clapping in the backfield to get his team ready on 3rd down and 10. Big 3rd down early on for the Mavericks. They trail 7-0 on the road.
Tingstad's audibling there.
Low snap, but he handles it well. The quarterback draw, he's going to take it himself. Gets across the 40-yard line. Good enough for a first down. It's brought down at around the 42.
I don't think that was a design draw. I think it was just a matter of the pressure on the outside kind of got to him, and he saw a hole open up in the middle, and no one opened downfield, so he just decided to keep it himself. And smart decision by Tingstad was able to get the first down.
Tingstad, 6'3", 220. Looked like he can move a little bit, too.
Yeah, good size for a quarterback, especially at the high school level.
Takes the snap here, this time slinging it out to the near side. It's Plummer who makes the catch at the 40-yard line, gets across the 45, and brought down by Johnston at the 48.
It's a little bubble screen. Plummer, he lined up has number 3 receiver in that trips formation. The 2 other guys went straight ahead and blocked, and Plummer caught the pass, was able to get behind his blockers to pick up a nice gain.
2nd down and 4, 7 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Tingstad talking to his line. This time he's going to hand it off to Marshall, comes to the near side, gets across the 50-yard line. Continues to push the pile, drive the legs. That's good enough for a first down. He picked up another 6 yards after the contact just by driving the pile.
Great effort there by Marshall on that run. They run a sweep out to the bunch formation side where they're getting some of the guys in the bunch formation. They're kicking out, and then they have some other guys blocking down to create a lane there, and Marshall does a great job getting in there and then doing the rest on his own.
They're in Panthers territory. First down from the 42-yard line. Tingstad communicating with his wide receivers. Looking to pass. Looking on the far side. Lets it go. He's got a man open. It hits him in the chest and falls incomplete. Drew Harvey, the intended receiver, he was looking for the end zone before he even caught it.
Yeah, we could see from here. He had his eyes. He took his eyes off the ball and upfield. He was looking for where that safety might be to see if he needed to avoid a hit or not. And instead, he forgot to bring the ball with him.
Nice looking throw by Tingstad.
And just well-designed pass play. He had the curl route opened up there for him. Just did everything right except catch the ball. 2nd down and 10. Low snap once again for Tingstad. He's just got to pick it up and run with it. And he makes a little something out of nothing. Picks up 6 yards to the 36-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4. So we know Tingstad can maybe play first base or third base. He can be an infielder. Yeah, that's just a busted play, and he got probably more than that play deserved because of the low snap. It sets up a 3rd and short.
It's the 2nd or 3rd low snap that he's had to deal with on this drive. 3rd down and 3. He's going to hand it to Marshall up the middle. There's nothing doing there. The Panthers stacked the line and holding no gain.
Yeah, Meadowdale tried to run that power play again, and so much was definitely ready for it. They met both the fullback and the guard at the point of attack and stuffed it and gave Marshall no room to run.
The rain really starting to come down here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. It was looking like it was maybe we're going to get a little dry.
We might avoid it, but I guess not.
We're not avoiding it now, and that may come into play as this game goes along. 4th down and 4 for Tingstad and this Mavericks offense looking to even the score as they trail 7-0 with 5:20 left here in the first. Out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff. Tingstad rolls out and hits Plummer in the hands, a little high, but it's something he could have caught, and that'll be a turnover on downs for the Mavericks. Good stop for the Panthers with the 7-0 lead.
Yeah, and that's been sort of the thing you wonder about Snohomish all year. Can they get stops? And on this drive, they're able to, although that ball should have been caught past, maybe a little high, but any receiver coach or receiver worth their salt will say if it hits you in the hands, you catch it.
A couple of drop passes on that drive, and in that last series in particular, just as far as moving the chains. But the Panthers take over, and Jodak keeps it himself and pushes ahead for a couple yards. He'll get to the 37-yard line.
That was a designed quarterback run. It was a quarterback counter where he fakes the stitch and then gets behind 2 pulling linemen. And the Meadowdale defensive front, they did a good job kind of gumming things up, creating a pile, not giving Jodak any room to run.
2nd down and 8 for the Panthers. Jodak takes the snap. This time hands it to Stitch, breaks a tackle in the backfield, cuts it upfield, gets across the 40-yard line, and is brought down at about the 43.
A nice job by the Snohomish offensive line. You had Nathan Hall, the right tackle, really did a good job of stealing the edge, letting Stitch get outside, and sets up a 3rd and short.
3rd down and 3. I want to move the chains here and keep this drive alive and see if they can't tack on to their 7-0 lead.
They got momentum, so a score here could really add to it.
Jodak takes the snap, hands it off to Stitch across the 35 for the 1st down and continues to push the pile to midfield. Big 1st down on 3rd down for the Panthers. That'll move the chains.
And with the weather the way it is, I think coaches have a natural tendency in bad weather to keep it simple and want to run the ball. So this could be a Keegan Stitch game.
As we say that, they empty the backfield. Jodak in the gun all by himself back there. Trips to the right side. He'll go that way. Gets the ball to Johnston, who catches it at the 50. Breaks a couple tackles. A nice spin move. Gets him across the 45. And he's brought down at the 41.
Johnston ran about 20 yards to gain 7.
Made some nice moves on the way to that 7.
I mean, obviously, I think they want to get him the ball every now and then, kind of keep him happy and keep that threat and keep the Meadowdale defense honest. But I think if the rain persists, both teams will keep the ball on the ground as much as they can. It's
slowed down a touch. The man in motion this time gets the ball. It is Ty Roth from Jodak, who's tackled. Nice tackle there at the 40-yard line. Gets to the 39.
And depending on this, I think you're going to be just short of the 1st down. That time, it looked like they fake it to Roth, fake it to Stitch, and then swing it out to Roth. So a lot of trickery going on there by the Snohomish offense.
3rd down and a short 1 for the Panthers offense. Jodak out of the gun. Takes it himself. Is met right at the line. A nice play, but I think he fell forward and got that first down.
As the quarterback counter again, and initially there was a nice hold there created by the Snohomish offensive line, but give credit to the Meadowdale defense. They closed it off, but just not quite in time.
Quentin Bourget in there to make the hit. It was a nice hit, but the momentum of Jodoc was able to pull him forward for the first down. 2:53 left to play here in the first. We're off the man in motion. Jodoc hands it off to Stitch, who comes to the near side looking for that edge, runs over one of his own men at the 35 and is brought down at the near sideline.
And that was a run where I would like to see Stitch maybe be a little more patient, because if he'd been a little more patient and read his blocking a little bit better and kind of kept his eyes up, he had a cutback lane to the right, but he just never saw it.
It's hard to keep your adrenaline in check on senior night when it's a big game like this. As second down, Jodoc's going to take it himself, gets across the 30. He's got a one-man to beat on the edge, instead stepped out of bounds instead of challenging Deshaun Butler. But that'll be good enough for another first down for Snohomish.
That was a design quarterback lead draw. One thing that I would keep an eye on is Jodoc. He's carrying the ball kind of away from his body. Whether it's wet or dry, you want to keep that ball high and tight, because it makes it more takes away the chances of a fumble.
And this time the toss goes to Tyler Masena, who breaks a tackle on the outside. He's got some room into the end zone for a touchdown. A great move. Tyler Masena on the little shovel pass gets to the far side and makes some things happen. And it's 6 more for the Snohomish Panthers.
Tyler Masena, the little sophomore, that's a name I don't think I've called all year. He gets a chance, and he's maybe saying, "Hey, coach, why didn't you get me the ball sooner this year?"
Yeah, no kidding. The little man, 5'8", 140, and he looks smaller out there, but had some moves, and he's a little slippery out there in the rain.
A little jitterbug.
And so just like that, 2 minutes left to play in the first, 13-0 in favor of the home Snohomish Panthers, who are looking for a big win here as they're making the playoff push. And the extra point is up and good, 14-0. We're going to take a quick break. 14-0, 2:07 left here in the first quarter. You're watching STSPN. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School, as the Snohomish Panthers have jumped out to a 14-0 lead over the division-leading Meadowdale Mavericks.
They're the division champions.
Division champions. They've already clinched it, and we were just talking during the break how maybe a little bit of an emotional letdown knowing that they've already got everything sealed up, and on senior night the energy of the Panthers maybe catching Meadowdale off guard a little bit.
Well, if I'm Coach Matt Leonard of Meadowdale and the rest of the coaching staff, you got to get these guys focused, because it shouldn't matter whether you've clinched the division or not going into the game. The playoffs are coming up, and you want to be playing good football going into the playoffs. Plus, whether or not there's always something to play for, even if it's just to say, on this night, we were better than you. And if true competitors don't worry about standings, they just play. And so right now, I think for Meadowdale, the coaching staff, they need to kind of maybe challenge the players a little bit. It's like, are you really here to compete, or are you just wanting to go through the motions? If you want to go through the motions, let's just get on a bus and go home. And
I think you were seeing a little bit of that as the offense was coming out on the field, a little huddle around the coach, and I think he was challenging them a bit to step their game up and get back into this one. And Drew Tingstad, the big quarterback for the Mavericks, ready to lead the charge. He's going to swing it out to Marshall on the far side, who's got plenty of room if he breaks the tackle, which he does, gets across the 40-yard line, and is forced out of bounds, he got back in bounds and is brought down near midfield. So a nice play coming out to start this series for the Mavericks.
And nice play, nice blocking by some of the receivers out there by Meadowdale on that little screen to Marshall. But then what I also liked was when the Snohomish defenders slipped off the blocks. Okay, the Meadowdale defenders, they didn't finish the block, but then they didn't compound that mistake by committing a block in the back, which would have erased that play.
So first down for the Mavericks at the 49-yard line, their own 49-yard line. Tinkstad this time hands it off to that's not Marshall this time. That is Jashawn Butler, who gets across the 40-yard line into the secondary and picks up a few more. Another big gain on first down for the Mavericks, and just like that, they're on the doorstep of the red zone deep in Snohomish Panthers territory.
Jashawn Butler, who I believe is son of Meadowdale assistant coach Torrey Butler, who is a former Washington Husky defensive back, so got some good bloodlines there.
And he had some nice speed as he got to the edge. This time Marshall's back and he goes up the middle, driving the legs forward, getting to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 8 on first down.
And you can just see a marked difference in the Meadow offense on the way they're firing off the ball this series as opposed to last series.
A little more fired up. I think they had a bit of a fire lit underneath their behind.
Message received.
Yeah. And second down and a couple. This time Tinkstad slings it out to Plummer, who's met with a nice tackle at the 25-yard line. Maybe a pickup of 1.
Although what I like about that, though, is Plummer dropped the pass on the 4th down. They go back to him as soon as possible to, for Tinkstad to let Plummer know, I haven't lost confidence in you.
Well, he's wearing a Captain C on that jersey, so they have plenty of faith in their big tight end, and good to see him get back after that. This time Tinkstad's going to take it himself and drive the pile forward. He's got a first down around the 20-yard line, so 3rd and short, they're able to pick it up. And, as you mentioned earlier, the offensive line getting a good push.
And that's something they ran that shotgun I formation. They ran a quarterback double lead. And with Tinkstad being the ball carrier at 220 pounds, that's a lot of beef getting through the hole.
First down and 10. First time in the red zone here for the Mavericks. Tinkstad shovels it over to Marshall, this time going on the far side. Cuts it up for a pickup of 3 or 4. The ball come loose. It did, and Snohomish recovered. So momentum by the Mavericks squashed by the Panthers defense, and they're going to give the ball back to their offense with a 14-0 lead.
And even though it looks like the rain may have stopped, the turf is still wet and the balls are probably still wet. And the trick with wet balls, the natural instinct is you want to grip it tighter. No, you actually want to loosen your grip just a little bit, because when you have a tight grip on anything slippery, it's more likely to pop out at a bad time. And, of course, when you're a ball carrier, the moment you're about to get tackled, then you put 2 hands on the ball. So ball handling could still be an issue even if the rain stopped.
28 seconds left here in the first quarter. Snohomish getting the ball for a 3rd time, looking to tack on 7 more to this 14-0 score. Jodock looking to sling it out to Stitch. Look, maybe like a wet ball on that one. Maybe it got the better of him, and it falls incomplete in front of his intended receiver.
Also, that was some sloppy mechanics on Jodock's part. He just kind of 3/4 sidearmed it and slung it, and he didn't set his feet. It was just, if Snohomish does have a quarterback coach, that'll be a play that he'll have some words with Jodock about when they go over film.
Second down and 10 from the 18-yard line for the Panthers. This time just hand it off to Stitch and let him do some work on the far side. He gets down to the 25-yard line, pickup of 7.
Again, Stitch just running with great effort there off the tackle on the right side, and he sets up a 3rd and about 4 for Snohomish. And again, the way Stitch has been running the ball tonight, they could give it to him again, or they've had some success also in these quick wide receiver screens.
And that'll do it for the first quarter. A bit of a surprise here with the Snohomish Panthers jumping out to a 14-0 lead, getting the turnover. They've got the ball. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back here with second quarter action, 14-0 in favor of the Snohomish Panthers. You're watching STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back to STSPN's coverage of the Wesco 3A South matchup between the Snohomish Panthers and the Meadowdale Mavericks. Meadowdale has already got the division locked up. Snohomish still fighting for positioning in the playoffs, and it's showing here on senior night, 14-0 as we start the second quarter. Brandon Jodock in the backfield. This time pitches it to Keegan Stitch, who gets across the 30-yard line. He's running with some energy tonight, and that's good enough for a first down for the Panthers.
And Stitch, he probably got enough for the first one before he ever got touched, so great blocking there by the Snohomish offense. And really the Meadowdale defense, they need to pick it up because we were talking about how their offensive line was playing come off the ball a little bit better in that last series. That's fine and all great if the offense plays better, but if the defense doesn't start getting some stops, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, the Panthers have been moving the ball at will so far in the early going in this one, and that's led to the 14-0 lead. It's going to be Stitch once again on the near side, picks up about 4 yards.
Same exact play.
Yep, wrangled out of bounds. Number 54, Levi Kowalski, in on the tackle.
And yeah, it's about 4 or 5 yards a pop. And again, if you're averaging that every play, you're going to be able to move the ball just fine. 4 yards in a cloud of black rubber.
Second down and 5 for Jodock. This time fakes the handoff. He's going to the near side. He's looking for Johnston. Just overthrows his target. Jaden Jackson in on the coverage for the Mavericks.
Johnston did a step, just the ball just a little out of his reach. And again, I don't mind Snohomish taking shots every now and then, although I think I would like it to see it more on either first down or if it's going to be on second down, do it second and 2, second and 3, second and 1, not necessarily second and 5.
Sure, and there's a flag down on the play.
Holding on the offense. Number 68, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Murray Gordon, our referee, with the call, and a hold is going to bring back the Panthers 10 more yards, so that'll bring up second down and 15.
Snohomish come out in the empty set, so look for them to. They don't have to get it. It's still second down, so they don't have to get everything right away. They can probably set up for about a 7 or 8 yard pass on this play.
Empty backfield for Jodock. He's going to run it himself, and not much of a hole there for him, but he was able to pick up 4 yards.
Quarterback draw, and again, when you see an empty set with a mobile quarterback, you always have to be mindful of the quarterback draw, and so you always want to keep at least one linebacker in the middle of the field to watch out for that, and Meadowdale did that and will limit that play.
So third down and 11 for the Panthers offense that's been moving the ball very well up to this point. It's going to need a big third down pickup. Jodock looking to throw up over the middle. Hits a player in his hands. It looked like Tyler Messena.
No, it looked like Jess Harris.
Jess Harris was the intended receiver. He got hands on it, but again, a little hard to catch as it came out a little funky. Maybe had a little something to do with the rain.
Maybe, and also just kind of a funny angle because it looked like Jodock was throwing a little against the grain there.
Fourth down and 11, they're going for it here.
Well, we've seen Jodock take the snap and punt it in these situations before, so don't be surprised if. And he's starting to
backing up, it looks like he may be doing just that, and he does. Pretty good kick as Halen Roberts is there to grab it at the 25-yard line, but he's got a lot of space in front of him, and he's met across the 40-yard line and brought down at the 43. So that's where the Mavericks will take over. Coverage on that punt, probably not as good as it could have been because of the nature of the pooch.
That and they have their offense out there, which I get the thinking of have your quarterback go a little deeper and kick it because you want to keep the other team's defense on there, keep them honest. But at the same time, if the other team is wise to that strategy, they're going to have a good return man back there anyway at the free safety spot. So might as well just put your regular punt team out there, and usually defensive backs and linebackers who are better suited to cover kick as opposed to 5 offensive linemen.
And an opportunity to flip field position a bit,
yes.
Pin them back. But instead it's 20 yards, if that, the field position changed. But Tingstad will take over there. He hands it off to Marshall, who goes up the middle for a pickup of 3.
And again, just on that punt, sometimes coaches can outthink themselves, and you wonder sometimes on these, you have the quarterback punt it. Is that some of that going on?
Well, and you saw Joe Doc look at the sideline. Was it maybe something where they're looking for a defensive set that they could exploit instead? And when it wasn't there, they moved to the punt. But this time, Tingstad fakes the handoff and keeps it himself. Gets into the secondary across midfield, across the 40-yard line, and brought down at the 35. Big pickup there for the Mavericks, and that'll be a first down.
Well, normally when a quarterback gets into the secondary, the DB's eyes light up. Oh, we can hit the quarterback. When it's a 6'3", 220-pound quarterback, that same enthusiasm isn't always there.
And he runs very well at that size, and you saw it there. This time he's going to hand it off to Marshall, who's held on to by a defensive lineman. And last possession, Marshall had that fumble. They're going right back to him, trying to ride their horse as he picks up 3.
And again, not a bad push by the Meadow offensive line, but what Snohomish is a very aggressive defense. They really like to go man-man coverage across the board and send everyone else. So it's sort of it's a feast or famine style of defense.
2nd down and 7. Low snap again for Tingstad. Whistles coming in.
His knee touched when he went down and fielded that ball.
That's exactly what they're calling there. So it'll be a loss of a few yards on that play as he had to take a knee as he picked up the ball. Another low snap that we've seen a few times here from this Meadowdale offense, and with a slick ball that makes things all the more difficult. And it'll be 3rd down and 11 for Meadowdale. Tingstad fakes the handoff. He's got a man in his face, gets away from 1, gets away from 2. He's still on his feet somehow, looking for a receiver downfield, and is unable to find his intended target. That was Halen Roberts he was looking for down the field. But when he's running for his life, it's a little harder to make that pass.
So great escapability shown there by Tingstad. Twice a Snohomish pass rusher had him dead to rights in the backfield. He was able to get away and was almost able to get that ball on target to his receiver downfield.
I've got a feeling we're going to be mentioning this quite a bit, but at 6'3", 220, not easy to bring down.
That and he had a good feel for it, and he ducked just enough both times to avoid taking the big shot.
4th down and 11, 9:29 to play here in the second. Tingstad looking to the far sides, got a man open, and it's complete for a first down. That was Will Schaefer on the reception, and that'll pick up about 15 yards and a first down for the Mavericks on 4th down.
On that last play, Snohomish, they set the corner on that side on a corner blitz, and so then that moved the safety over top of Schaefer. And because it was the safety covering Schaefer, there's a big, huge cushion that Schaefer was able to take advantage of, drive downfield and get open for the first down.
So the Mavericks staying alive, and they're going with that shotgun I formation that you mentioned earlier. Fakes the handoff to Marshall and slings it to Plummer on the far side, who breaks a tackle and is forced out of bounds, but he's good enough for a first down, and he's inside the 10 to the 5-yard line, 1st down and goal.
And I think that was the same play they tried to hit on the 4th down earlier in the game, where they faked the power play and then slipped Marshall out into the flat. This time he's able to hold on to it and get upfield, set up 1st and goal.
Offense moving the ball pretty well here for the Meadowdale Mavericks, and what looked like it could have gotten out of hand, the defense gets a stop, and now the offense moving the ball a bit. They're down 14-0, but on the doorstep with 9:15 to play here in the second. Tingstad slings it over to Marshall, who cuts it upfield and is undercut at about the 2-yard line. A couple of flags come in at the end of the play. We'll see what our official Murray Gordon has to say about that. Looks like everybody's moving back. It'll be a hold.
You have to think Snohomish will accept this penalty.
Holding on the offense, number 34, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
That's Plummer, the tight end for the Meadowdale Mavericks, who just made the reception to get him down inside the 5. Now holding penalty.
He's had an up and down half so far, I'd say.
That he has, but first down and goal still for Meadowdale, this time from the 16-yard line. Marshall up the middle, taking care of that ball, gets down to the 10-yard line.
Good surge by the Meadowdale offensive line there. It really wasn't much of a hole, but they pushed the pile forward to be able to allow Marshall to get upfield for about 5 or 6 yards.
Marshall, 5'11", 195. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there and go between the tackles.
No, he's not. And on that play with the holding, I think he had some room to the outside if he'd wanted to, but he decided to turn up field and lower his shoulder.
Tingstad out of the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Marshall. Decides to keep it himself. Marshall takes a hit for him. He picks up a few yards, gets down to about the 6-yard line.
And Tingstad seems angry at somebody. That was an interesting play because he rode that fake for a very long time. I don't know if something about the Snohomish defense confused him or if it was designed to ride it out for that long, but that definitely did not look like a play that you design on a playbook.
Not the way they drew it up. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line. So, there was a flag, but they picked it up. There's no flag on the play. So it'll stay 3rd down and goal from the 6. Tingstad over to discussing with the coaches to get the play.
And really it kind of depends on, does Meadowdale plan on going for it if they don't get it here, or would they kick a field goal? The type of play call that Coach Leonard is going to draw up here.
Looking to throw as Tingstad swings it out to Marshall. He's got a man to beat. Stiff arm, but a great tackle there on the near side. That was Jess Harris with the tackle. A nice open field tackle against Marshall. Marshall's down.
And it looked like Jess Harris, he was ready for that play because he was man coverage on Marshall the whole way, and as soon as Marshall caught it, there was Harris. And Harris did a great job not biting on any fakes and just staying with Marshall and riding him out all the way to the sideline.
Marshall stayed down at the end of the play, but he's up running off on his own power. That's a good sign for the Mavericks. But it's 4th down and goal.
And there's a lot of substitutions, so it looks like Meadowdale is going to attempt a field goal here.
On to kick the field goal, Will Schaefer.
From about 22.
And an angle. A 22-yard field goal for Schaefer. Whistles before the snap. Some movement on the offensive line.
I don't know what's going on.
Dead ball. False start. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
Make that a 27-yard field goal for Schaefer. Field goal attempt for Schaefer.
I didn't see any movement, but obviously the guys in the striped shirt did, and that's their opinion is what counts.
It sure is. So 8:05 left to play here in the first half.
Although because of the penalty, even though it's a longer attempt, the angle is less severe.
Holds it down. The kick is up. And he nailed it. 27-yarder for Will Schaefer. And that gets Meadowdale on the board, 14-3 with 8 minutes to play here in the second quarter. You're watching STSPN.
The kicking team too, because obviously you have a tell or you're not changing up your cadence.
And we're back here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the Snohomish Panthers are holding a 14-3 lead. Meadowdale just getting on the board with a 27-yard field goal by Will Schaefer. An impressive drive moving them down the field. Got stunted there at the end. A couple penalties. Bit them in the behind, and they had to settle for 3, but they're on the board, and now it's up to the Meadowdale defense to get another stop.
And for the Snohomish defense, it was sort of a bend but don't break kind of drive, and for them, they've been in a lot of shootouts this year in games that they've lost, so it's a good sign to see that they can get a stop when they need to.
And the opening kickoff popped up and fair caught at the 40-yard line. A smart decision there by the Snohomish Panther They grabbed the ball. Hard to see his number there, but
Looked like Mel Miller.
Mel Miller. But a heads-up play there to fair catch that pop-up kickoff at the 40-yard line. A good field position for the Snohomish Panthers, whose offense has been looking pretty sharp, scoring 2 out of the 3 times they've had the ball.
Yeah, and again, the pop-up kickoff is sort of a we'll give up good field position at the risk of not letting Johnson or Stitch get the ball.
Brandon Jodock taking over for the Panthers. This time hands it off to Keegan Stitch. Makes a couple nice moves in the backfield and is able to pick up a yard, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a half yard. But he did a good job just not taking a tackle for a loss because there's a lot of penetration by the Meadowdale defense.
2nd down and 9 for the Panthers. Huddling up for the first time tonight. Probably looking to maybe take some time off the clock.
It'd be a little too soon in the second quarter to start trying to take the air out of the ball, but for someone who's a little old school like myself, I don't mind seeing a huddle every now and then.
So Jodock out of the shotgun with Stitch in the backfield alongside him. Fakes the handoff and keeps it himself. Trying to find some space on the far side, makes a move across the 45, and is met by a host of tacklers at the 48-yard line. So that'll be 3rd down and 2.
Quarterback counter to the left side this time, and he did a good job reading his blockers, although when he got past his kind of the first wave of blockers, I thought if he actually cut it out to the outside, he had a little bit more room to run. Still sets up about a 3rd and 2, which is very makeable for this offense.
6:43 and counting here in the first half. 14-3 the score. The Panthers looking to add to it, but 3rd down and short for Jodock and this Panthers offense. He's going to hand it off to Stitch, who's got a head of steam. He gets across the 50 into Mavericks territory at about the 40-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 39. A nice strong run up the middle by Keegan Stitch.
The inside zone, which is sort of the base play of the spread offense in the zone read stuff, and good little Stitch was able to find a crease created by the offensive line, and he just ran hard the rest of the way and carrying tacklers all the way up to the Meadowdale 39.
So 1st down and 10 to go for the Panthers offense once again. They come out of the huddle. And Jodock out of the shotgun with Stitch along his right side. Got a man in motion. And Jodock hands it off to Stitch up the middle once again. And with a head of steam, he gets into the secondary there. Is brought down after a gain of 8.
And the way he's running, really just feels almost a matter of time before he breaks off a big one. Because he's running hard, and it's almost like guys are just kind of grabbing his ankles to try to stop him. And eventually he's going to fight through one of those tackles and break off a long one.
So 2nd down and 2, 5:33 on the clock. Jodock takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Stitch, and this time keeps it himself. He's got a 1st down and a couple more. At about the 25-yard line is where he dives down, and that'll move the chains.
And so far, it just seems on this drive, just the combination of either Jodock or Stitch, not knowing who's going to get the ball, with whether it's a fake or not, is doing just enough to keep the Meadowdale defense off balance and keep them guessing, and it's really taking some of the aggressiveness out of them.
1st down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Jodock this time shovels it off to Stitch on the far side, who's met by a host of players at the line and falls forward for a gain of 1, maybe 2.
And they go to that play again, which they were having some success with it earlier. At the time, I think Meadowdale, they've seen enough of it, so they're able to read it right away and stop it. But if I'm Snohomish, I go back to running between the tackles with either Stitch or Jodock.
Picking up 7 or 8 yards at a time doing that. Yeah, you stick with what works. I think they might also be setting up a little pass play. We'll look for Johnson here soon. There's a screen to the far side. That's Ty Roth who picks it up at across the 20-yard line, brought down near the 1st down marker.
He'll be about a yard short.
About a yard short, yep. So that'll bring up, we've got a timeout down on the field. Timeout or it's Medowdale taking the timeout. We'll take it with him. 4:17 on the clock, 14-3 in favor of the Snohomish Panthers. You're watching STSPN. We're back here at Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School alongside Luke Windsor. I'm Mike Kennett on STSPN, and a big 3rd down and 1 for the Snohomish Panthers, who lead 14-3 with 4:17 left to play here in the second quarter over the Meadowdale Mavericks. Brendan Jodock out of the shotgun. Roth in motion, hands it off to Stitch, who's trying to make it move up the middle. He gets the first down and continues to drive forward inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. He is running like a man possessed.
And again, it looked like Meadowdale, they had a defensive lineman in the backfield to make a tackle for a loss. And it just seems like one guy just cannot bring Keegan Stitch down because he's just running that hard tonight. And
this is the 3rd, 4th, 5th time that when he seems like he's stopped and wrapped up, he just continues to drive the legs and pick up extra yards. So 1st down and goal for the Snohomish Panthers. Jodock fakes the handoff, goes across the middle, and it's in for a touchdown. A passing touchdown this time. I didn't catch who it was. I didn't see the number there. The number's tough.
Jess Harris, I think.
Jess Harris. Number 12, that is correct. Jess Harris in for the 7-yard touchdown pass from Brandon Jodock. And it's 20-3, Snohomish.
And just the cue and effect of all those runs with Stitch, him up the middle. They finally call play action, get the linebackers to bite, and just sneak in Harris right behind them for the nice, easy on an ISO route for a touchdown.
DeVries in to tack on the extra point, and that is up. And it is good. 21-3, Snohomish Panthers on senior night. Jumping out to a big lead over the division-leading Meadowdale Mavericks. 3:46 left to play, 21-3. You're watching STSPN.
That was beautiful. Basically, yeah.
We're back here at Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School, where the Snohomish Panthers on senior night have a 21-3 lead over the division-leading Meadowdale Mavericks. Division champion. Yes.
They've already clinched the South, because next week you start getting into district playoff games. So, but Snohomish, they're trying to avoid that sort of the Kansas City tiebreaker scenario. They're playing the team that still has something to play for. While Meadowdale, I don't know. They need to pick up the intensity.
Well, the low line drive kick causing a little bit of a problem for Jaden Jackson, who watched it go all the way inside the 10, and he picked it up and got to the 20-yard line. And
on wet turf, those squib kicks, they can take some really funny bounces, and it's a very effective tool for a kickoff team to use to negate a dangerous return game.
So Meadowdale looking to get in the end zone for the first time tonight. 3:40 left in the first half. I didn't know that we would be saying that.
No, and again, for Meadowdale, there's still something to play for, and that you want to be playing your best football going into the playoffs, and right now they're not looking like that at all.
Momentum is a real thing, and Tingstad and the offense trying to get some of that back, and he slings it out to the far side, who's got his receiver, And it's Will Schaefer who gets across the 25, is brought down near the 30-yard line, close to a first down, depending on the spot here.
There's a wide receiver screen where they let the whole Snohomish front four into the backfield, and the offensive line got upfield to block for Schaefer, and Schaefer did a good job not only making the catch but getting up the field for a nice gain on first down.
Looks like they're not going to give him the first down, just shy, so it'll be second down in inches with 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter, and Marshall gets the handoff up the middle, makes a couple nice moves, and picks up a real nice gain.
That looked like Butler, actually.
That was Butler, Jashawn Butler. A little speedier than Marshall, getting into the secondary, and a big gain up to the 45-yard line, and that'll move the chains.
And just for momentum's sake, Meadowdale can put up a score before halftime. That would be really big because they're going to get the ball to start the second half, so they can get a touchdown. Don't let Snohomish score to end the half, and then they get the ball back. They could really cut into this lead.
And still plenty of time, so they can run the ball. Tingstad, and it is Butler sticking with him in the backfield. And Tingstad looking to throw this time. Steps up in the pockets, going to the far side. He's got a man open just outside of his reach. The intended receiver there, hard to see. Jaden Jackson, maybe?
Yeah, he had the man there, and it looked like they're trying to take advantage of Snohomish being in like a cover 2 situation with the 2 deep safeties. And they're trying to throw the ball to a spot before the safety could get there, and he just overthrew his receiver.
Halen Roberts was the intended receiver on that play, number 5. So second down and 10 from Tingstad. This time he's going to hand it off to Butler up the middle, and he's got a little room on the outside, and he's got some speed across the 30. One man to get away from, and he's not able to do that. A touchdown-saving tackle for Snohomish by Jess Harris. But Meadowdale gets inside the 10 after the long run by Butler.
Butler showing great burst right up the middle. He's not a big guy, so he doesn't need a huge hole, but just a small little crease, and he found it. He's able to, get a big yardage there and set up first and goal.
It's almost the lightning to Marshall's thunder. Marshall more between the tackles, the big guy just want to stick his nose in there, and Butler, the speed guy. And I think Marshall in the last series may have gotten hurt and went off gingerly, and we haven't seen him since. So Butler with a change of pace, confusing the Snohomish defense a bit, and it's first and goal from the 5-yard line for the Mavericks.
And now Meadow, obviously they want to score, but I think they can take plenty of time here.
Butler on the toss to the far side, but that one's snuffed out by the Snohomish defense despite a couple of nifty moves in the backfield.
And they tried to run that little toss toward the bunch side again, but Snohomish is ready for it. But again, Meadowdale, I don't think they want to score too quickly because of Snohomish's quick strike capabilities themselves, and plus, so they really want to take as much time as they can, but still get the 7 points.
1:34 and counting on the clock. That's how much time's left here in the second quarter. And Tingstad this time fakes the handoff and keeps it himself and walks into the end zone untouched. And that makes it 21-9. Mavericks with an impressive drive there to get back into this game before the half.
That time they faked the handoff to Butler, and the defense went with Butler. So Tingstad saw that, kept it himself, and there's a huge hole right up the middle. He's able to walk in untouched and able to hand the football to the back judge who's standing underneath the goalpost.
Yeah, I could have driven a bus through there. That hole was so big. So just like that. But you mentioned it, 1:26 is plenty of time for the Snohomish offense to get a strike before the half. The extra point up and good. So the 21-10 the score. 1:26 remaining here in the first half. Snohomish leading the Meadowdale Mavericks. We'll be back right after this on STSPN.
I'm the chairman for the Texas Police Chiefs Association Alarm Committee. When we talk about what this definition is and what it means to them and their response for alarms, number one, it lets them truly prioritize the alarms. The alarms that don't come to them fitting that definition as a verified alarm, it will allow them to set those alarms to a priority that they probably give alarms already down there on the bottom of the call stack. But the calls that truly do merit a higher response, those get pushed to the top. Those get the response they need to actually make arrests.
We're here at Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School. It's senior night for the Snohomish Panthers, and they're taking on the Meadowdale Mavericks. And where the Panthers look like they were going to get off to a little bit of a storybook senior night for these kids down here. Meadowdale getting back into this game with a score to make it 21-10. 1:26 left to play here in the first half.
And again, we talked about it earlier. Yeah, it's great that Meadowdale scored, but if I was them, I would have liked to take a little more time at the clock because they do have quick strike capabilities, especially with Johnson on the outside.
Hard to plan for that kind of thing, though. I mean, you've got an opportunity to score. You got to take it. You never know if you're going to get it again, right?
Yeah.
And the kickoff caught at the 30-yard line and brought ahead to the 35, and that's where Brandon Jodock and the Panthers offense will take over. And, you're mentioning now the quick strike capability of this offense. Plenty of time on the clock, 1:23 here in the first half for them to tack on a little bit.
And all 3 timeouts and good field position. But, again, it's one of those situations you're not going to turn down a touchdown if it's presented to you. But, I mean, in an ideal, perfect situation, you'd take off a few more seconds off that clock.
Meadowdale defense looking to get a big stop. They get the ball coming out for the second half, so a stop here will keep the momentum going for the Mavericks. This time, Jodock slings it out to Johnston on a little wide receiver screen, but he heard some footsteps, and that one fell incomplete. Yeah,
number 9, Jackson Foltz, the defensive end, he was bearing down on Johnson, so it's just as well that he dropped it because he'd been tackled for a loss, and then so much money had to use up one of their timeouts.
1:19 on the clock now. Jodock with an empty backfield, 3 wide receivers on the near side, looking to throw, stepping up in the pocket. He's got a man in his face. Gets away from one, but not the second. And in for the sack, number 4, Jesus Hernandez.
Yeah, they brought the blitz that time, and they were able to get into the backfield. And Jodock never really was able to get set to find someone open down the field.
And Meadowdale takes the timeout.
Well, they're thinking they can score quick too. So if they can get keep as much time on the clock, they can get a stop here. They can get the ball back and maybe have another chance to score.
A loss of almost 10 yards there on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 20 when we come back. You're watching STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
A good crowd on hand here at Veterans Memorial Stadium for senior night for the Snohomish Panthers. Thursday night lights tonight as things were moved up as potential playoff scenarios could be muddled up here in the Wesco 3A South. The Panthers with 1:09 on the clock have the ball, looking to drive and score. 3rd down and 20. They're just going to hand it off up the middle to Stitch. He's going to try and get all of it, and he does, across the 50-yard line into Mavericks territory, across the 30, and brought down inside the 25. So it looked like a play they were just going to try and
force Meadowdale to use their last timeout or chew up some clock. Keegan Stitch, wow. And also have to give a lot of credit to the Snohomish offensive line for creating a nice hole for Stitch to get through initially, and then it was Stitch doing it the rest.
You called it earlier that it was only a matter of time before he broke one, and it was a great time for him to do so, picking up a huge 1st down for the Panthers. And they've got just under a minute to go, and the ball on the 20-yard line. Jodock looking to throw this one. Throws it up. He's looking for Johnston, who cuts in front of the defender and is not able to bring it in. Jaden Jackson in on the coverage. There was a little hand fighting going on in there, but
and I like the no call because both guys were doing some hand fighting. It wasn't one guy doing it to the other. They were both guilty, so might as well keep that flag in the pocket.
It's a ball we've seen Johnston bring in this season. It's a little uncharacteristic. 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers. Jodock looking to throw once again. Gets away from one defender, spins and lobs it up for grabs, and it was caught. Is that Stitch on the far side makes the catch?
There's a flag. I almost wonder if Was Jodak trying to throw that away? Just didn't get in.
That was my initial thought, but then it just didn't get there. But
Illegal man downfield. Because that was supposed to be a screen pass, and that's why the offensive lineman went downfield.
Murray Gordon, our referee tonight.
An eligible player downfield on the offense, number 54, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
It was supposed to be a screen to Stitch, but it was well covered, pressure in his face, and because it's a screen, it's supposed to be thrown behind the line of scrimmage, which means the offensive lineman can go downfield. But then when Jodak, whether he's trying to throw it away or not, I don't know, only he knows that. Because it was thrown about 10 yards down the field, now you got offensive lineman downfield, and that's illegal.
37 seconds on the clock here in the second quarter. Panthers trying to tack on to a 21-10 lead. Jodak takes a snap. This time the screen goes up the middle, and it's Stitch who catches it, gets to the near side, gets across the 10, meets the defender head on, and is brought down inside the 5. Just keep giving the ball to 27.
Why not until Meadowdale figures out a way to stop it. And while even in this situation, even he could have gone out of bounds, but no, Keegan Stitch, he likes to finish runs. And that means sometimes cutting it up the field and running a guy over.
And he did so, and now it's 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. 29 seconds to go for the Panthers, and it's Stitch who gets the handoff up the middle, breaks it inside in for the touchdown, and he's exhausted, laying on his back, waiting for his offensive lineman to pick him up. They rode him down the field on that drive.
And that is such a backbreaker for Meadowdale because they got momentum with that touchdown on the run by Tingstad. Now just all the defense has to do is hold them for a minute 23. And they couldn't do it. And any momentum that they had going into the halftime just got taken away.
And the big play of that drive was that 3rd down and 20. They do a little draw play.
Just a give-up call.
To Stitch, and he broke it out for, 60-yard run. And that's what got him inside the red zone and in scoring territory, and they capitalize on that. After the extra point, 28-10. The Panthers lead, a huge score before the break, and there's only 23 seconds left here at the half. So we're going to stay here and finish out this first half, but really impressive performance by the Snohomish Panthers offense.
And just, again, a real letdown for the Meadowdale defense. Yeah. 3rd and 20, if a team runs a draw or an inside zone out of the spread, that's a give-up play. We're conceding it. We're going to, and all they're trying to do is force the defense to burn their last time out or let the clock run. And instead, Stitch just burst through and he hit a big one, and that changed the whole complexion, not just that drive, but this half and the way the half ended and going into halftime.
In 23 seconds, I don't know if that's enough time to get down and get one in before the break for Meadowdale. But you got to think they're at least going to try, right?
Well, I think you'll see maybe something safe early on. If they hit it, then they might get aggressive. But if they don't, then they'll just let the clock run out
and get the ball to start the second half.
Get into halftime.
28-10 the score. Panthers kicking off, and the low line drive. This one grabbed by Jackson at the 20-yard line. Makes a move across the 30 and is brought down at the 32. 15 seconds left here to play in the first half.
So you might see a screen or a draw, and if Meadowdale hits it big, then they'll probably maybe burn the timeout and maybe take a shot at the end zone. If not, then they'll just, I think, be content to go into halftime.
One timeout remaining for the Mavericks as Tingstad leads the offense back out on the field. Butler still in the backfield with him. We haven't seen Marshall the last couple drives. Tingstad looking to throw. Pumps and throws low and incomplete to Will Schaefer.
And you know what that looked like there? That looked like the Boise State play from the Fiesta Bowl, because they had the Schaefer running the in cut, and they had a receiver coming underneath who would have been there to take a lateral had Schaefer been able to hold on that ball. So it looked like the Boise State circus play.
would have been interesting, but the low throw unable to be handled by Schaefer. And that'll bring up second down and 10 seconds on the clock. Tinkstad once again looking to pass. They're going to do a little screen looking for Butler, but that was blown up by the Snohomish defense, and there was really nothing doing there, and now there's 5 seconds left.
And Jackson Harris, he was in coverage on Butler. He read the screen, so he peeled off his rush and found Butler while the rest of his friends put pressure on Tinkstad. So just really well defense play all around by Snohomish, who's really, against a quality opponent, this is the best defense they've played all season.
Picked a great time for it, and senior night in 5 seconds, Meadowdale just hands it off to Butler up the middle, and that one's stuffed by Snohomish. And Snohomish going into the locker room here in the break with all the momentum, all the confidence, and you can see the way Meadowdale's walking off the field here. They know they're getting outplayed, and you can see Stitch leading the boys off the field here, that they're fired up and ready to go. 28-10. The score here at halftime in favor of the Snohomish Panthers on senior night. They're bringing the heat. We'll be back with some second half action. Alongside Luke Windsor, I'm Mike Kennett. You're watching STSPN.
Welcome back to Snohomish. This is STSPN. We're here with Glacier Peak defensive coordinator Steve Hannon. You pop your face into the booth here. You want to take a look at your fellow district school playing what we thought was going to be a blowout by, well, maybe not a blowout, but it was going to be a Meadowdale win. And Snohomish came out here with a mission. Have you seen any of the first half?
Yeah, I was here since the start of the game, and obviously we play tomorrow night, so we don't get a chance to see Snohomish play very often. So we like to encourage the kids to come down, and Kai and our staff have worked pretty hard to become a community of football with Glacier Peak and Snohomish, and so we hope that some of our kids would come down and watch them play, and we thought we'd come down as a staff and support Kai and Snohomish, and we've been treated by a pretty good first half of football here.
Absolutely. So now the odds, I don't know, I would like to say that the odds are fairly good for a Kansas City tiebreaker if Jackson takes care of business over there at Mariner. What do you think about that? I've heard different sides to the story. Some people say that it doesn't matter how good you are. Things can happen really quickly and you wind up out, but you guys are healthy.
Yeah, it's a risk, though. It's a risk, right? We know if Mariner wins that game, we're in. We're going to go down to play Sumner, and that's going to be a tough football game. We're going to have to play our best game to get out of that one. We certainly understand that. If there's a tiebreaker situation, we have a chance to be third, which sends us down to Kent Lake, and I haven't seen any film on them yet, so that we'd start from scratch there. Or we could end up fourth, or you could end up out.
You could.
So, then that's the risk you run with those Kansas City tiebreakers, and whoever told you that, a crazy thing's going to happen, and you get to get the ball at the 25-yard line, and we were just talking earlier, team throws a ball in the end zone, and they catch it, and you come out on offense, and you get a tip ball for a pick, and it's out, and you're done, you're finished, and you might be the best team there, but from 25 in, Kansas City tiebreaker, anything could happen, which actually makes it exciting, I think. I'm kind of excited. Let's go and play it because it'll be a lot of fun on Monday, I think.
That's true. Now, you've got a Mount Vernon game tomorrow night, and what, in all reality here, they just have been struggling as of late, last couple of years. It should be, how do you prepare your team for a game like that, and what are your goals for your defense on a game where, they are looking past it a little bit?
Yeah, well, you hope that would never happen because we've all been in games. Glacier Peak, I remember right here on this field a few years back, we were ranked number 3 in the state, and Mount Lake Terrace comes in here, a 3-loss Mount Lake Terrace team, and comes out with a win. So at any time that can happen, and we're on the Coach Peterson train at the University of Washington, the one game at a time, and forget about what's going to happen in the future, and we lose that game tomorrow night, and we're out. There's no tiebreaker. There's no fourth seed. There's no nothing. That game is a playoff game for us, and that's how we have to approach it.
That is very much correct. I would have to be very surprised if that happened. But that said, I've seen stranger things, right?
Absolutely, and it's harder for us as coaches to say and to look at the film and say, well, that's probably not going to happen. To us, this is the future of our team this year, is this game right in front of us. So it's hard to take anything for granted. But obviously they've been struggling. They haven't won a game yet this year. So, they've run into some problems. I hope that our kids are going to be confident going in there, but we're going to have to play our best game.
Great.
Get out of there and win.
Well, thanks, Coach Hannon, for coming up and talking to us, and we'll get the people that actually know what's going on here back on the air.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sure.
Many thanks there to Steve Hannon, Glacier Peak football. That was pretty cool, and I got a chance to talk to him before you guys did your interview there, and he kind of gave me the lowdown on that Kansas City tiebreaker, and I'm fired up. I hope that happens. I want to go watch it. So, a lot of exciting things coming down the pike as we get ready for playoff football here in Washington, and right now on the field, Snohomish Panthers have a 28-10 lead.
And looking like a playoff team. While Meadowdale, they came out flat in the first half, so they need to.
I got a feeling that the head coach there gave him a little kick in the behind in the locker room there, and they come out throwing with Trinkstad finding Butler on a little swing pass, and he picks up about 5 yards.
Does the phrase peeling paint mean anything to you?
Yeah.
Although, really, having, first obviously as a player, then as a coach, it really doesn't do much good unless it comes initially from the players. If the players aren't fired up and embarrassed and ticked off, then all the yelling and screaming by the coaches won't really do a whole lot of good. So it's got to come from within the players and the senior leadership, or otherwise it's all for naught.
And the Mavericks, no gain on second down there as Roberts took the handoff and tried to go to the far side. So third down and 6 to go. 11 minutes to play here in the third.
And again, Meadowdale with really some of their best success, I think, has been Teamstead running the ball. But again, you don't want to put your quarterback at risk to take too many hits, so you want to see other guys step up.
And Teamstead looking to throw this time, airing it out down the far side, and he had a receiver with a step. That was Jaden Jackson. He just overthrew him, had a man in his face.
Good arm strike there by Teamstead. I think he would like to maybe put a little more air underneath the ball on that Jackson run underneath it. But now it's a 3-and-out by Medowdale, and that's just not the start they needed in this second half.
Now Snohomish had the momentum going in the locker room, and defense continues that trend with a good 3-and-out stop here in Meadowdale, bringing on the punt team. Zach Plummer is the punter. And
it's easy either Stitch or Johnson back deep to receive. I can't tell who.
Either one very dangerous with the football in his hands. Ooh, Snohomish just missed an opportunity to block that one, and the ball is fair caught by Johnston at the 43-yard line, and Brendan Jodock and company will take over there.
And we'll see just kind of what adjustments that the Meadowdale defensive coaching staff made this half, and also the Meadowdale front, because it was Stitch and Jodock running the ball for the most of the first half that got most of the yards for the Panthers. So can the front seven of the Snohomish hold up and force? And with the quarterback as good as Jodock, you don't know when you want to put the ball in his hands to throw it, but if you can't stop the run, you really can't stop any offense.
And Jodock with Stitch in the backfield. He's looking to swing it to Stitch, but instead goes inside to Johnston, who catches the ball at midfield and gets across the 45, brought down at the 43-yard line. Big pickup for a first down there.
Nice route by Johnston. Just a slant route, and then what he did a good job of, once he found a hole in the zone of the Meadowdale coverage, he just kind of settled in, presented a nice target for Jodock to throw him the ball.
First down and 10 for Jodock at the 43-yard line. Roth in motion in front of him, and he's going to hand it off to Stitch this time up the middle. And he's got a full head of steam by the time he hits the linebackers there and picks up 8 yards.
And what the motion by Roth did is, because he's gotten the ball in the motion a couple times, when he came through, 2 Meadowdale defenders went with him, and so that kept them from being able to help on Stitch on that run. And that's what really gave that nice cutback lane for Stitch.
Second down and 2. Jodock instead decides to pull it down and run with it. Nice play by the Meadowdale defenseman there. That is Jesus Hernandez, who wraps him up and doesn't let go in the backfield, and a loss of a yard on the play.
That looked like a busted play because I think Jodock wanted to hit one of the receivers on a little quick screen pass, but all 3 of them went to block. And if one doesn't turn around and catch the pass, then there's really no for Jodock to go with, so then he just decided to keep it, and unfortunately he lost a yard.
Third down and 4. And there's some movement up front. You got a flag down on the play.
But Johnston got a bit of a head start.
Murray Gordon, our referee.
Ball, false start, offense, number 24, 5-yard penalty, repeat, third down.
And
you called it.
And it drives coaches crazy when the wide receivers come in a false start, because they're not even, you don't even need to worry about the snap count. They're just looking inside at the ball.
Yep.
So,
well, that makes things a little bit more difficult for the Panthers offense on third down, and between 8 and 9.
And usually on third and long, it's passing down, but again, with Stitch, the way he's ran the ball tonight, you never know.
Stitch in the backfield with Jodock. Looking to pass. Jodock pulls it down, is going to run it himself, and there's nothing doing there, and he's dropped for another yard loss.
Okay, it was the quarterback lead draw, and usually draw plays are great on passing downs, except when the defense brings a blitz, and that's what Meadowdale did there. They brought a blitz, and there's really nowhere for Joe Dock to go.
Fourth down, the offense staying on the field. Ball on the 42-yard line. 8:42 and counting here, left in third. Jodock takes the snap, and he's punting this one. Goes off the side of his foot a bit. See what kind of bounce he gets. A decent one as it goes inside the 20 and out of bounds at the 17-yard line. That's where Meadowdale will take over. 28-10 in favor of the Snohomish Panthers. You're watching STSPN.
VideoFide creates the ultimate outdoor protection system on batteries. The OMV is a totally wireless detector camera that can be installed anywhere without wires or power cables. When the motion sensor detects an intruder, the OMV sends video alerts of what caused the alarm to a central station for immediate review and dispatch. VideoFide delivers faster police response and protects
8:31 to play here in the third quarter. We're at Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School. Snohomish with a 28-10 lead over Meadowdale, who's got the ball inside their own 20, and this time the handoff goes to Marshall, who's back in the game, and he's off and rumbling across midfield, across the 30, and pushed out of bounds by a pair of Snohomish Panthers inside the 20-yard line, about the 20-yard line. A huge gain for Meadowdale on the first play from scrimmage in this series.
About a 62-yard run from Marshall. I thought he was stopped at the line of scrimmage. And
it looked like it.
I was getting to talk about how great job by the Snohomish defense of stuffing it at the line. Then Marshall just popped through, and he was off to the races. So good second effort by him.
It's good to see him back on the field if you're a Meadowdale Mavericks fan, and he shows what he's capable of running between the tackles and picking up a good 60-yard run there to get the Meadowdale Mavericks into red zone territory.
Now the chain game's finally set.
And they're going to go with Marshall again, this time with a pitch to the far side, and there's nothing doing as the Panthers are able to get up to the line of scrimmage and make a good tackle for no gain.
And Tingsted had to deal with another low snap, and that really kind of messed up the timing of that play. Allowed the Snohomish defense, with their pursuit to gain an extra step or two, to really not allow Marshall to turn the corner there.
They're giving him a yard, so second down and 9 from the 19-yard line. Tingstad out of the shotgun. Fakes the handoff, goes across the middle. Low throw.
Incomplete.
Falls incomplete. Halen Roberts, the intended receiver.
That's when they play action fake. Looks like it's Butler who's in the game now, and try to draw the linebackers up and get the receiver in behind them. And ball's just underthrown.
Butler looked pretty good in a few plays there at the end of the first half, and between him and Marshall. This time, looks like Butler's going out to split wide.
Well, after a 62-yard run, I think Marshall's just needing a breather.
A little oxygen over there on the sideline. Tingstad out of the shotgun, empty backfield, looking to throw. Has a little time, moving around in the pocket. Now things collapse for him and slips on the wet surface and in to make the tackle for the Panthers. Brad Raymond in for the sack, a loss of 4 yards on the play.
Nice job by Raymond not giving up. Tingstad, he really showed a good sort of escapability in the pocket there, evading a couple of rushers, but again, Raymond does a good job staying with the play and able to bring Tingstad down.
So on comes the field goal unit for the Mavericks. Will Schaefer in to kick a 40-yarder. He hit from 27 in the first half.
And Johnson is in the end zone in case this kick falls short.
And the snap is good, the hold is good, the kick is up, and it is good. So from 40 yards, the Mavericks first to score here in the second half. It's 28-13, Snohomish over Meadowdale. And we'll be right back after this. You're watching STSPN. We're back here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. It's senior night here at Snohomish High School. And the seniors pretty proud of the way that they're playing for Snohomish right now. 28-13 over the Meadowdale Mavericks, the conference or division champion Meadowdale Mavericks, conference champions for the Wesco 3A South. And Luke, just a really good performance by the Snohomish offense, but Meadowdale not going away quietly.
That last drive was a good sign from Meadowdale because, again, they don't want to look bad going into the playoffs. And win or lose now, at this point, they need to just play better than they did in the first half.
Well, they were able to put some points on the board here and kick it back off with that little pop-up kick that they're working on, and it's fair caught at the 35-yard line. And Snohomish will take over there looking to tack on to their 15-point lead.
And it shows you just how much respect they have for Stitch and Johnson, who are the two deep men. They're not even kicking it they're kicking it to the very first upbacks, not the second guys, because if they kick it to the second guys, then Johnson or Stitch could just call them off and come up and get it. And
with a full head of steam.
Yes.
And Joe Doc hands it off to Stitch up the middle, and he picks up a couple. It's really the best they've done of containing him tonight.
Yeah, not many times have been able to say they held Keegan Stitch just a gain of 2 yards. He's really, and you also have to give a lot of credit to the Snohomish offensive line. They've really done a nice job pushing the pile as well and creating some holes for Keegan Stitch to get through.
6:48 on the clock here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 8. Joe Doc slings it out to Johnson on the far side, who makes a man miss and gets across the 40, across the 45, still on his feet, jumps over it. Would-be tackler, and is forced out of bounds in Maverick territory at the 45-yard line. So a nice gain there. What looked like it was going to fall for, maybe a 5-yard pickup turns into a 15, 20-yard pickup.
And for really that whole play, Johnson had guys he had to make a lot of guys miss in really tight spaces. So just great individual effort on his part.
Well, they've been trying to get the ball in the hands of 24. He's one of their dangerous weapons on the outside. So 1st down and 10. Joe Doc this time the screen pass to the near side, and that one caught by Cole Bride, and he's brought down just inside the 45-yard line to the 44.
And again, we've seen a lot of these quick screen passes by Snohomish all night long. You just have to wonder, when will Coach Kai Smalley set up maybe a pump and go where he fakes that and sends one of those guys who normally would be a blocker, release them downfield for a deep pass.
Roth, the man in motion in front of Joe Doc. This time he hands it off to Stitch up the middle, and he pokes and prods his way to the 40-yard line where he's brought down.
And good initial surge by the Snohomish offensive line, and then Stitch does the rest. Really, he does a great job, and it's something that it's hard to teach young running backs because either they'll do it or not, but on contact to keep the feet moving. And Stitch does a great job with that.
3rd down and 6 from the 40-yard line. Joe Doc sends Stitch out wide, looking to sling there. Does not. Ooh, a little grabbing across the middle as he's looking for his receiver on a slant. No flag on the play. Harris imploring the back judge to put some laundry down on the turf, but nothing doing there.
There was no grabbing that I saw. Just some incidental contact. Two guys just bumping into each other at the same time. So good no call there by the officials.
And that'll bring up 4th down. And the offense stays on the field. We've seen Joe Doc punt a couple times. This time looks like he's looking to throw. Got guys in the backfield. Is able to escape 2 of them. How does he do it at midfield? Looking to throw, and he's got a man open. It's Ty Roth. Gets a block at the 27-yard line, and he walks into the end zone for the touchdown. A broken play. Joe Doc in the backfield, able to escape and find Roth for the touchdown. Broken play from about 40 yards out, and a Mavericks defender on the turf still in the backfield.
I think 2 of the guys who were chasing Joe Doc running in the backfield, they collided, and that young man got the worst of it. But, wow, so many times on that play, I'm thinking to myself, with Joe Doc when he's scrambling, he's going the wrong way. But Meadowdale was unable to get him onto the ground, and then he found Roth, who was wide open over the middle, and then he got a great block from Jess Harris to really spring him the rest of the way for the touchdown. Big play for Snohomish, and now you just hope the young man from Meadowdale is okay.
We'll take a quick break while things get figured out here on the field. 34-13, the current score with 5:07 left to play here in the third. Snohomish over Medowdale. You're watching STSPN. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium here at Snohomish High School on STSPN, where the Snohomish Panthers have a 34-13 lead over the Meadowdale Mavericks. 5:07 left to play here in the third, and we just watched the starting running back, Keela Marshall for the Meadowdale Mavericks, helped off the field after he was involved in a backfield collision.
I think with a teammate of his.
With a team, he and a teammate were trying to track down Brendan Jodock, who was able to elude them and find Ty Roth for a 42-yard touchdown pass. And that makes it 35-13 with the extra point. And really just a broken play that Jodock was able to make something out of nothing. And Ty Roth picked up a great block from a fellow wide receiver on the edge there and went in untouched.
Yeah, Jess Harris, and credit Jess Harris. He was the previous play. He was complaining about not getting a pass interference call. Be able to put that aside, make a great block to spring Roth, and both he and Roth, two seniors on senior night, who they're not the number one options for Jodock. It's normally Johnson, but two sort of the unsung heroes of the Snohomish receiving corps on senior night getting touchdowns tonight.
And you can tell the senior night energy here. Meadowdale is already the conference champion. Sounds like Snohomish has fourth place locked up in the division, barring
Linwood losing a game that they should win.
Right. So playoff positioning, a factor. But here on senior night, the energy level that Snohomish has come out with is palpable.
And in that tiebreaker, it looks like Snohomish would probably play Marysville-Pilchuck, a team that they beat pretty soundly in their opener this year.
It's the best time of the year for football as we get ready for the playoffs, but still some work to do here for both of these teams. As Meadowdale getting the ball back, and this time it is Roberts. Halen Roberts grabbed the ball there and got to the 20-yard line, so that's where Kingstad and the Mavericks offense will get started.
It's just a squib kick, and by the time Roberts got the ball and looked up, you had about 4 or 5 Snohomish players bearing down, and there's really nowhere for him to go.
Seeing some different strategies employed on the kickoffs by both teams. Snohomish sticking with that line drive, bouncing ball that's squirting.
Especially with a wet ball, wet turf, it can be tough to handle sometimes. It takes some funny hops.
Yeah. So the Mavericks and Tinkstad taking over here. Butler in the backfield with Tinkstad, and he gets the ball going up the middle, picks up a few yards.
Really not a lot of room to run there for Butler on that play. Great job by the Snohomish defensive front, led by Will Sanders, Brad Raymond, and Carter Cole. And really, again, I said it earlier tonight, this is against a quality opponent. This is the best that Snohomish has looked defensively all year, and you couldn't ask for it at a better time.
Going for the playoff push, you want to be playing your best ball, and they appear to be on defense as Tinkstad looks to take it himself, and he's tripped up by the front line. The front seven of Snohomish has really done a good job of not getting pushed around in front.
Yeah, I mean, really the one big hole they gave up was Tinkstad's touchdown run, but aside from that, they've really done a good job of getting into their gaps, getting their run fits, and giving the Meadowdale ball carriers really not a lot of room to run.
3rd down and 7 for the Mavericks, looking to get something going here in the second half. Get back into this ball game where they trail by 22. Tinkstad looking to throws to the near side. He's got Plummer, who makes a catch at the 35. Lost the football, but it goes out of bounds.
Schaefer.
Oh, sorry, Schaefer. Will Schaefer.
There's a 3 on both their jerseys, so nice pitch and catch there from Tinkstad to Schaefer. Nothing really fancy about that route. Just a yard or 2 past the sticks, turn around, and catch the ball. And that's what Schaefer did there.
A lot of cushion there by the Snohomish defensive back, and they took advantage of that. So first down and 10 from the 39-yard line. Tingstad's going to fake the handoff to Butler, this time go up the middle, and that one is caught by Roberts across the 45 to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like Roberts bobbled that initially, so he did a good job of just concentrating and bringing that one in.
3:30 on the clock here in the third quarter. 35-13 in favor of Snohomish. Meadowdale marching down the field. Tingstad fakes the handoff again. This time slings it out to Plummer, who gets a first down and a few more, and is brought down inside Panthers territory at the 45.
And that's a little interesting. Normally you don't see a tight end catching a bubble screen like that, but Plummer's obviously a good enough athlete that they feel comfortable enough getting him the ball in space on those type of plays, and he did a good job getting behind his blockers to pick up the first down.
So from the 45-yard line, Tingstad talking things over with Butler in the backfield. 3 wide receivers on the near side. This time, Tingstad fakes the handoff and has got a man out with a step and just overshoots his intended target. That was Jaden Jackson he was looking for on the far side.
We'll give credit to the Snohomish pass rush. Even though they didn't really get a hit on Tingstad, they made him uncomfortable enough where he was unable to set his feet to make a good accurate throw because he just looked rushed that whole play.
Yep, trying to step up, but there was not really anywhere to step up.
And it's hard to deliver a good, accurate, deep ball when you got happy feet in the pocket like that.
That'll bring up second down and 10 for Tingstad. Triple wide receivers here on the near side. Instead, he's going to hand it off to Butler, who runs to this side. He's got a lot of space as he gets the corner. Enough for a first down. Flag down on the play as he gets to the 30-yard line. It's brought down. That looks like a place where there's typically a holding call.
I was going to give some credit to the Meadowdale wide receivers on the side for blocking well and giving Butler room to run, but I guess they were too good.
There was a reason why he had all that space.
Yes.
Been a relatively clean game by both teams. We haven't heard a whole bunch from referee Murray Gordon.
Holding on the defense. Number 3, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
That is Will Schaefer, the guilty party. And they'll march off 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so second down and 15.
And despite the holding, that was a pretty well-designed play from Meadowdale, so I think they'll go back to it later on in this game.
Tingstad looks to the sideline to see if they need to change the play at all. And he's looking to throw. Oh, got a man in his face, but he gets away, and a flag comes in.
I think they're going to stitch on a face mask.
They might. And Tingstad, despite his best efforts, unable to get away from the onslaught of Panthers defensemen, and lost 4 yards on the play. But that flag did come in around the time where Stitch was in his face trying to tackle him on a corner blitz.
Yeah, or he plays kind of a rover safety position. And that's the face mask. And he just got one of his hands up a little too high, and whether or not he actually touched face mask, it just the umpire who threw it, he's close enough to see where the head moved when Stitch's hand was up there.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's all it takes is that you see that movement
of the head, yeah.
And with it being a quarterback, sometimes maybe there's a little bit extra precaution there too.
Exactly.
So after I say we haven't heard a whole bunch from our referee, Murray Gordon, there's 2 plays in a row where we get to hear his voice.
Face mask on the defense. Number 76, 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
No.
Keegan Stitch is not number 76, but that's who I thought it was against. But
I thought you were right. It looked like he's the one that flew in there. You see 76 out on the field. Regardless, there was a face mask on the play, and they're going to march it off. And so it'll be second down and 14 now. Tingstad throws it off to Butler on the far side, who takes it across the 50 and is pushed out of bounds at about the 43-yard line.
And even though we're still in the third quarter, eventually you like to see Tingstad take a few more shots down the field in the intermediate or deep passing game. They've had some receivers open. He just hasn't been able to connect with them. But the thing about the spread offense is there's a lot of lateral passing game, and yeah, you might break a few big plays because someone breaks a tackle, but eventually you do have to push the ball downfield when you're down this much.
Big 3rd down and 7 play for Tinkstad and the Mavericks. He's looking down the field. He's got a man open. It is Plummer who catches that at the 5 and takes it. Schaefer, for the touchdown. I get Plummer and Schaefer mixed up way too often for guys that don't have the similar number. But nonetheless, a nice throw by Tinkstad on the run, who gets Schaefer and connects for the touchdown. So not going away quietly are the Mavericks.
They finally pushed the ball to connect on a deep pass, and interesting play design. Looked like Tinkstad kind of did like a sort of a half roll to his right, and then threw it against the grain to Schaefer, who's running a post route. And sometimes when the quarterback rolls one way, you forget about the receivers on the other side, and I think that's what happened with the Snohomish defense there.
Schaefer stays on to kick the extra point, and it is good. 35-20 with 2:03 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. And Snohomish with the lead, but the Mavericks trying to make a comeback. We'll see how it goes with the rest of the 3rd quarter. After this, you're watching STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Welcome back to STSPN's coverage of Snohomish Panthers and the Meadowdale Mavericks here at Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School. Alongside Luke Windsor, I'm Mike Kennett, and we're watching this Meadowdale team that has been kind of getting beat up on throughout the night. They're not going away quietly. They're showing some signs of life here, picking up scores on their last 2 drives, and now they're within 15.
But can their defense get enough stops to make that matter?
That is the question, as the Snohomish Panthers get a fair catch and take over from their own 37-yard line. We'll see if the Mavericks are able to get a stop here on Brendan Jodak, Keegan Stitch, and company, who've been moving the ball very, very well so far on offense. And see Johnston, their star wideout, is on the sideline for this play.
That is interesting. Nothing appears to be wrong with him, so I don't know what's going on.
And we've got a man in motion there is Tyler Messina, and flags come down for the start of the play.
False start.
Replay, first down.
Moving backwards to start this drive are the Panthers. First down and 15 with 2:01 left to play here in the 3rd. Jodak hands it off to Stitch, who's got a head of steam as he hits the line of scrimmage. Barrels ahead forward for a pickup of 4.
And Johnson is coming back into the game. Again, with Snohomish, I mean, not that they haven't given him the ball quite a bit already, but I'd expect now, especially as you start to think about the end of the game and trying to chew up some clock, I'd really expect to see a lot of Keegan Stitch up the middle.
Messina in motion in front of Jodak, and a little pitch to Stitch, who's hit the backfield and then slips as he tries to regain his momentum and falls down for a loss of 5.
Great play there by Matthew Johnson, the linebacker. He read that play right away, and I don't know if it was a blitz or just play recognition, but he got in the backfield right away, was able to put a nice hit on Stitch and get force the tackle for loss.
And it's not the first time we've seen that little shovel play on the run.
You keep running the same play against the defense. If they're any good, they will catch on to it.
So Jodak this time throws it to Stitch, who catches it and then loses it. Looks like they're calling that complete and then a fumble, and luckily for Snohomish, it goes out of bounds after a pickup of 6. But with at 3rd down and 16, that's not enough to do it. It'll bring up 4th down.
I don't know if that was a catch or not, and with the way the rule is these days, what's a catch, what's not a catch, who knows.
They called it a catch, so we'll go with it.
Go with it.
But again, not enough to get anywhere near the first down marker.
And after getting a score, that's really the best thing for Meadowdale is to force a 3-and-out to get their offense the ball back.
Yep, continue that momentum. High, weird snap there, but able to catch it and kick it is DeVries, and fair caught and inside the 35-yard line by Jashawn Butler. And so the Mavericks going to take over in their own territory at the 34-yard line. 47 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. They trail by 15. So still within striking distance, plenty of football left to play, and we know that Meadowdale has an offense capable of putting up some numbers.
And it's a two-possession game, and in a two-possession game, all it takes is 3 plays, and the team that's losing is tied or even has the lead. So they are definitely not out of it. So it's really kind of up to Snohomish now to finish the game.
And a flag on the play before the snap.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 2. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Yeah, you said it was a clean game, and now how many penalties
I
have we
jinxed
had
it. That's my bad. But
darn you.
Both teams starting their drives here by going backwards. So first down and 15 as Tingstad fakes the throw to Butler on the outside. He's got a man open in the middle, and it's caught at the 40-yard line, and he gets across the 35, and that's Roberts, Halen Roberts, for one of the captains on this Meadowdale team who found some space in the secondary for a big gain.
And the key to that play is he pump fakes it to Butler on the outside, and it drew a couple of Snohomish defenders out there, and Roberts was running a post route down the middle. That pump fake opened some space for him, and he was wide open.
He was wide open, so big pickup there for Meadowdale, and just like that, they're in striking distance with 20 seconds left here in the third quarter, and this time Butler gets the handoff up the middle, gets across the 20-yard line, another first down as he's brought down at the 18.
And a huge hole there open up in the Meadowdale offensive line, and you can now tell the momentum and just the body language of the Meadowdale sideline and their players. It's a lot different now. They feel like they're right in this game.
And they are, and Snohomish defense on the defensive side, the body language kind of showing a little bit of the opposite. They're a little rattled here as more laundry is thrown on the turf.
Darn you to heck.
I
said it.
It was a nice, I felt like it needed to be mentioned that it was a nice, well-played, clean-played game so far.
Say it in the fourth quarter when team's taking victory set.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 55. 5-yard. Repeat, first down.
Another false start here, and first down and 15 now for the Mavericks.
And lately, that's been the only thing that's kind of kept the Meadowdale offense at bay.
Tingstad with Butler in the backfield, and he hands it off to Butler, who goes up the middle and pushes to the 20-yard line, a pickup of about 4.
Much better effort there by the Snohomish defense on what should be the last play of the third quarter.
It is the last play of the third quarter, so we're heading to the fourth with the Snohomish Panthers up 35-20, but the Meadowdale Mavericks are driving, looking to get back in this game, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter. You're watching STSPN. We hope you haven't gone anywhere yet. This game is far from over with 12 minutes left to play. The Meadowdale Mavericks driving to make this a one-score game. They're down right now 35-20. It's been a game that was early. It was dominated by Snohomish. Meadowdale asserting themselves now.
So the last half of the second quarter, the Mavericks have turned it on and really looking to assert themselves and really start to look like the team that won the West Coast South. And it's a 2-score game. They're down 15. So what I expect is if they can punch it in for a touchdown, kick the extra point now, and then wait to go for 2 if you want to have a chance to tie it up, because you don't want to go for something you don't want to chase points when you don't have to. So because if they go for 2 now and don't get it, it stays a 2-possession game.
Well, first things first, they've got to get in the end zone, and they'll worry about that stuff later. But second down and 12 from the 20-yard line, and they've got a good opportunity here to put some points on the board. And Tingstad this time with a man in motion, fakes the handoff and keeps it himself and fights his way to the 15-yard line for a pickup of 5.
And then Tingstad, it wasn't much there, but again, at 220 pounds, he can bring his own blocker at times. And that time he ran into the first tackle and just kind of carried him forward for a couple extra yards.
Big third down play here for Meadowdale from the 15-yard line. 3rd down and 7. Tingstad out of the gun. Looking to throw. Looking at the end zone. Had a man. And ball wasn't that far off.
Just a bit
looking
high.
for Plummer.
And Tingstad was kind of throwing on the run. I think that kind of prevented him from being as accurate as you needed to be there, because, again, the receiver had the step, but that needed to be almost a perfect throw. And Tingstad, because he was running forward while throwing it, just was able to drop it in the way he needed to.
The offense staying on the field here for this 4th down play. 4th down and 7. 11 minutes, 24 seconds left to play in this game. Down by 15.
And this really is a big play in this game, because if Snohomish can get a stop here, even if they don't score in their next, but when they get the ball, they have a chance to really run some clock off.
With it being a 2-possession game, that is just as good as anything else. And so Tingstad going to run it himself. Got to make some moves here. Got to get long way to go, and he's not going to make it. Good pursuit by Snohomish. He picked up 5 of the 7 he needed.
Great pursuit by the Panther defense. Initially, they did a great job downfield covering every receiver, not giving Tingstad anywhere to go. And then Tingstad, in that situation, he did what he had to do. He kept it himself, and he's been pretty effective doing that all night long. He just was unable to get the couple extra yards that he needed. We have a Panther down.
I didn't see who it was that was down there, but I did see him kind of grabbing it. My first thought was that it was a cramp of some kind, but maybe more than that.
Shouldn't be having cramps in late October.
He's up walking it off, so that's a good sign for the Panthers. Randy Jodock and this offense taking over with a 15-point lead, 11:15 left to play. And you've got to think we're going to be seeing a heavy dose of number 27, Keegan Stitch.
Well, you also might see maybe fake it to him once or twice and have Jodock keep it, just to keep the defense honest, and use Stitch as a decoy, and that might open up some things for Jodock.
Deep in their own territory, though. They're taking over at the 10-yard line. Jodock out of the gun with Stitch in the backfield. Got a man in motion. And a flag.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Number 69. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Now, when you talk to a team about trying to finish games, penalties, that's not finishing the game.
Yeah.
And that'll drive Coach Kai Smalley a little crazy, because you're already facing a defense that's gearing up to stop your run. You don't want to make it hard on yourself by backing yourself up 5 yards.
Not to mention when you're in this part of the field. Now you're standing in your end zone as you hand it off. And Jodock looking to throw on 1st down at 15, and he
on 1st down when you're backed up, that's not a bad play action. Try to take be a little aggressive. And the Snohomish sideline, they were hot because they wanted a pass interference, because they thought that I don't know if it was Harris or Roth. I think it was Harris. They thought that the Meadowdale defender was a little too touchy-feely before the ball got there.
Laundry stayed in the pockets this time, and now Jodock going to hand it off to Stitch, who's got a little bit of a hole, and he's shifty, man. He is shifty as he gets across the 15 to about the 16 maybe, and that'll bring up that was a good gain to bring up 3rd and short.
As a high school running back, he's got really everything. He's got good speed, he's shifty like you said, he runs hard, he breaks tackles, he can really do everything.
Finishes runs, we've seen him do that tonight. And he's going to get the handoff again. A nice hole to run through as he gets across the 25 and across the 30-yard line. Looked like he was grabbed by the face mask, and the flag comes in as he gets across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
I think the back judge is going to agree with you. And the other important thing that Stitch did there is when he was feeling contact, he put both hands on the ball.
Got to protect.
Because possession of the ball is so vital at this point in the game when you're trying to run out the clock.
Absolutely, and it was a huge first down pickup there by Stitch.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 3, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
Will Schaefer called for the face mask, and another 15 yards from the end of that great run by Keegan Stitch, and just like that, the Panthers are in business in Maverick territory.
And even if the drive stalls out in these next set of downs, they're out of the shadow of their own end zone, and if they do decide to punt, they have a chance to really pin Meadowdale in deep. So already this drive is success in that it flipped the field position.
Sure. With 10:38 left to play as the clock ticks off, things get a little bit more daunting for the Meadowdale Mavericks. Jodock on first down, out of the gun, shovels it over to Stitch, who makes a man miss in the backfield. Stiff arms another guy at the line of scrimmage and fights forward for 4 yards when it looked like he was going to be brought down in the backfield.
That play had no business getting what it got. Credit Keegan Stitch for making a man miss. And I think if I'm a play call and I see the defense reacting that way to that play that's been run quite a few times tonight, I might put that one away.
And Stitch lost a shoe. He had to come off the play, so he'll be off for a play at least as they get his footwear back in order. Jaden McClure in. And Jodock fakes the handoff and keeps it himself and gets enough for a first down, and then is forced out of bounds inside the 35 to the 34-yard line.
And you almost had to figure with Stitch out because of the equipment issues that it would be Jodock keeping, which is what they did on the quarterback counter, and he does a nice job of moving chains. The only thing you like to have seen him do is once he gets past the first down markers, maybe take a knee or just get down, stay in bounds.
Keep that clock moving. 9:52 on the clock now as Jodock takes the snap, throws it on the near side to Johnson, who was hit immediately, and that ball falls incomplete. Nice play by the defense. That was Jaden Jackson.
Jaden Jackson read that right away, and he drove through the man trying to block him and into Johnson. Great play. You love to see physical play from your corners.
And Stitch comes back on the field for Snohomish after getting his footwear back in order.
Maybe for Meadowdale defensive coach, tell you guys to try to rip his shoes off again.
It's the only way they can keep him from gaining yards tonight. And second down and 10, Jodock in the gun with Stitch in the backfield. And guess who? Keegan Stitch, a lot of room to run. Gets across the 20. You're not going to catch him from there, and he's in for the touchdown.
I guess they tied that shoot on pretty good.
There's not enough that you can say about that kid. He is doing it all tonight. You mentioned all the ways that he's been contributing, and he gets a hole and he gets in the backfield, and there's no way they're going to catch him. He's showing the speed as well.
And just the inside zone, he started off one way, the defense went with him, and the line is able to do a job moving the pile, and it created a nice big cutback lane for Stitch, and they'll go in untouched for the touchdown.
Taking a little air out of the Meadowdale tires with that drive and that score. Now it's 41-20 with the extra point. Up and good.
A 90-yard drive in the fourth quarter can be a backbreaker.
Yep, and plays like a face mask attack on another 15, but really it was Keegan Stitch show as he was able to pretty much carry them on their back. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more 42-20 in favor of the Snohomish Panthers over the Meadowdale Mavericks. You're watching STSPN.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
That's the great thing about inside zone is just need a bit of a crease.
And Keegan Stitch got that crease here at Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School. Snohomish up 42-20 on senior night over the Meadowdale Mavericks, the conference champion Meadowdale Mavericks. And Snohomish kicking the ball back to Meadowdale, who looked like they had a little bit of momentum going on and getting back into this game. They got within 2 scores, and then the Panthers offense just put a stop to that there with a 90-yard drive to get back up by 22.
And you also have to credit the Snohomish defense. A little bend but don't break action again. Meadowdale got in close, but then on a 4th down, they will stop them short by about 2 yards. Get the ball back, and then it became the Keegan Stitch show once again.
Yeah, complete team effort for sure by Snohomish, and you mentioned it already. This is the best that Snohomish defense has looked all year.
Well, against teams that they should beat handily, yeah, they've held them to low scoring. But against the quality opponents, they've gotten in quite a bit of shootouts, and they haven't won any of these shootouts. So for the Snohomish defense to finally play like this against a good opponent, it's great to see as they get ready for the tiebreak against Meadowdale. Probably been Meadowdale Coach next week.
Oh, and Tingstad's pass is tipped and intercepted, and there's lots of running room there. Cutting back on the inside, breaks a tackle and gets into the end zone. Logan Jensen.
And it looked like Schaefer had it in his hands. He just wasn't able to haul it in. And Jensen, right place, right time for the tip drill.
And I was wrong on the call. That wasn't Jensen. That was Kevin Lopez on senior night getting a pick 6. Number 14.
Kevin Lopez, also a senior. So yeah, that's a great memory for him to he'll have for the rest of his life on senior night, giving a pick 6.
And we can certainly say that the momentum is firmly on the side of the Snohomish Panthers.
And what looked like the potential for a comeback from Meadowdale, I think the door just might have been shut.
Well, stranger things have happened, and we do know that they have an explosive offense that can put up some points. But 28 points, 29 points in 9 minutes and 21 seconds when you've got a defense on the other side that's as fired up as this Snohomish Panthers team, and they're playing as well as they are. It's a tall order. As the extra point is up and good. 49-20 with 9:21 left to play here in this game. And Snohomish cruising on senior night. And we'll be back with the rest of the 4th quarter here on STSPN.
I'm the chairman for the Texas Police Chiefs Association Alarm Committee. We talk about what this definition is and what it means to them and their response for alarms. Number one, it lets them truly prioritize the alarms. The alarms that don't come to them fitting that definition as a verified alarm, it will allow them to set those alarms to a priority that they probably give alarms already down there on the bottom of the call stack. But the calls that truly do merit a higher response, those get pushed to the top. Those get the response they need to actually make arrests.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School. On senior night, the Snohomish Panthers up big 49-20 over the conference champion Meadowdale Mavericks. Not something that we necessarily expect to see. I expect to see a great game, a close game, but Snohomish, all facets of the game are taking control.
Again, that squib kick causing the Meadowdale return team some problems.
And he picks it up at around the 12-yard line, gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line. If you're the Meadowdale Mavericks right now, what's on your minds? What's your game plan here?
You still got the playoffs next week. You still have a team from the Metro League that's going to have to deal with next week in a playoff game. So at this point, forget the score. You need your guys to get better, and you want to at least end the game on a good note and playing well.
Yeah, injuries, no injuries. Well, we've already seen their running back, Keelan Marshall, go out, and he's been out for the game here. And the backup running back, Butler, just takes that handoff to pick up about 6 yards, 7 yards.
And you don't want injuries, but I think people lately in the last few years in football, they get so concerned about injuries. You got to prevent injuries. Well, one of the ways you prevent injuries is you don't play in fear of them.
Sure. As Butler takes the handoff again and rumbles for a first down across the 40 to the 44-yard line.
So when I hear that, it kind of aggravates me a little bit because I know a kid that he dislocated his kneecap just walking down the street. So you can get hurt doing anything. So just don't be in fear of it. Just go out and play, because if you play not to get hurt, well, guess what? You're going to get hurt.
So first down and 10 for Meadowdale. As Tingstad slings it out to the near side, that's caught by Robertson, brought across the 50-yard line to the 48.
And so, yeah, it would not surprise me if Coach Leonard keeps the starters in, because they need to get sharp. They need to get sharp for next week, because that's a playoff game. That's a winner go home game. So they need to just focus on themselves and getting better, and really just forget about the scoreboard at this point.
8-12 and counting left to go in this game. Second down and 2 for the Mavericks. Tingstad hands it off to Butler, who goes up the middle. Got some speed, escapes a couple of tacklers, and breaks free at the 30, to the 20, the 10, the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. 48-yard run by Jashawn Butler.
And
for the Mavericks.
Good initial hole open up by the line, and Butler did the rest. Kind of looking like his dad back in the day, who I remember would terrorize opponents in this area when he was running for Cascade High School back in the Cascade heyday. So, yeah, Jason Butler showing that, you know what, if Marshall can't come back, you're still in good hands.
And he's asserted himself a few times tonight. His speed, a little bit of a change-up from Marshall's power running.
Yeah, Marshall's more of a power back, and Butler's more of the jitterbug, one cut and go type of guy. And
got plenty of speed, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the Maverick offense staying on the field here, looking for 2.
At this point, why not?
Yep. And Tingstad got a man in his face, is able to escape one, escapes a second, and he's going to take it in himself, and the 2-point conversion is good. So 49-28, the score, with 7:54 left to play here in the fourth quarter. We're going to stay right here.
And I expect Snohomish to have their hands team ready to go, anticipating a potential onside kick. And Meadowdale, I mean, they can. Why not? Because they haven't stopped stitched really for the most part all night long, so why not try to get the ball back?
And it's an opportunity for something you may need to do in the playoffs that you can work on it with your team, right?
Yeah, and again, regardless of how this game turns out, plays like Butler's run there, they need stuff like that to feel better about themselves, because they're likely to lose this game, but to feel better about themselves going into a playoff game next week against either Nathan Hale or Lakeside, who those two teams play each other Saturday night.
So it's a 21-point game, 7:54 left to play in this one. I mean, if they do go for the onside kick and get it, I mean, we're getting back into territory where it's not entirely over.
No, and it doesn't look like so much as their hands team out, which is a little surprising.
And it does look like Meadowdale's preparing for the onside kick.
Although wide to the short side of the field, I don't understand that.
That's a great question. Got the bounce. If that's on the far long side of the field,
they have a better chance.
Yeah.
Why do you kick?
Is flag down?
I think a Meadowdale player may have been offsides. But again, why do you onside it to the short side of the field? I don't understand.
Snohomish will take over on the 48-yard line, 47-yard line.
It's a free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. The penalty will be putting the ball at the place it went out of bounds. First down, Snohomish.
So because the ball went out of play there, that was the reason for the flag. And Snohomish will take over at their own 47-yard line.
I'm going to guess Keegan Stitch up the middle.
I am not taking that bet.
thing.
Oh, I could have. The fake the handoff and throw it. Jodock looking for Johnson down the field, who leaps and makes the catch at the 20-yard line. One man to beat, and he's unable to beat him, but he gets inside the 10. And we haven't been able to call Johnston's number all that much tonight, and maybe that was just an opportunity for them to get him involved on senior night.
I guess I'm just maybe a little too conventional at times, because conventional wisdom says you're up 21, 7 minutes and change, run the ball, take the air of the clock, especially when you have a running back who's like Sitch, who's been almost unstoppable all night. So Coach Kai Smalley decides, hey, they just scored on us. Let's try to get that touchdown back and maybe go for the jugular again.
And just like that, first and goal for the Panthers.
From the 9.
From the 9-yard line, 7:30 and counting on the clock here. Jodock in the backfield with Stitch. Johnston split out to the near side. 3 wide receivers on the far side. Jodock keeps it himself, looking for Johnson there, and he was grabbed before the ball got there, and flag comes in.
Yeah, 2 officials saw that. So it was pretty cut and dry what that's called. Going to be pass interference. I think they're trying to get Johnson to touchdown on senior night too.
It appears that way.
Pass interference on the defense. Number 2, it's half the distance to the goal line. First down.
And so now it'll be first and goal from the 4.5-yard line. Jodock getting the play from the sideline, where we thought it was just going to be a heavy dose of 27. It appears that the entire playbook is available.
It's a new world from what I'm used to. Usually at this point in the game, you try to run the ball and go home.
Well, again, we already mentioned it. Maybe it's an opportunity to run some of these plays in preparation for the playoffs, and it's also senior night, and you want to get your star wide receiver a couple touches. So, and instead they go to Ty Roth, who on the end around, and he's brought down.
It's just that little touch pass, almost like a volleyball set pass. So that actually, on the stat sheet, that should go down as a passing play for Jodock and Roth.
No gain on the play, so.
But the best part about that is Roth stayed in bounds.
Yep, keep the clock going as we're at 7 minutes and counting. Second down and goal from the 4. Man in motion, Jodock this time hands it to Stitch, and he'll handle it from there. And in for the touchdown goes Keegan Stitch.
And I don't think one Meadowdale defender got a hand on him at all.
Nope. And if they did, it didn't phase him, that's for sure.
No.
And so with 6:47 left to play in this one, 55-28. The Panthers are up on senior night. And nice crowd here on a Thursday night, and they're letting their Panthers seniors hear it.
And excuse me, again, great showing by Snohomish. These are the best they've looked all season.
DeVries and to kick the extra point. It's up and good. 56-28, doubling them up here on senior night at Snohomish High School. 56-28, the Meadowdale Mavericks. The conference champions going down. We'll be back with the rest of this fourth quarter here on STSPN.
That was beautiful. Basically, yeah.
Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium here at Snohomish High School. Snohomish Panthers 56, Meadowdale Mavericks 28. It's senior night here, and they're pretty fired up if you're wearing red right now with the way that your team's performed, and they've been doing it in all facets.
Yeah, offense, defense, even special teams has really just been an all-around team effort for the Panthers.
And Medowdale takes the kickoff at the 15-yard line and gets across the 25 to the 26. And the Mavericks offense is going to come out and take over there. I mean, they put some points up, 28. Probably not enough. They knew coming in to do it, but
well, I mean, while I appreciate good offense, I also appreciate good defense, and I always feel like if you're going to tell me that my team's going to score 28 points, I feel that should always be enough to win the game.
Sure.
But with the way football is played nowadays, with these kind of the high flying spread offenses, and it almost seems like defense is at times taking a back seat to offense because offense is flashy. It's more exciting and this and that, and now we had a flag because I think.
Well, there was a heck of a defensive play by Brad Raymond there as Butler tried to go up the middle, and he was stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Raymond, but then the late flag comes in. And it's going to go against the Mavericks. Personal foul.
Frustration penalty there on Meadowdale. But so ultimately, being able to score a lot of points is great, but if you want to win in November in high school football, you got to bring a defense. And you just look at some of the powerhouse teams in the state in recent years. Eastside Catholic and Bellevue have always played great defense. Gonzaga Prep last year, the 4A champs.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense, number 52. Half the distance to the goal line. Repeat, first down.
You look at maybe the top team in this area right now, Monroe in 4A. Last week was the first game all year where they gave up 14 points.
Jeez.
They've been holding everyone else to single digits all year. And so.
Well, there's a reason the cliche is defense wins championships.
Yeah, look at the Seahawks in recent years. The Broncos last year, as much as I hate to say it. Yeah, bring your defense.
As Tingstad slings it out to the far side, it's caught at the 13 and brought across the 25, back to close to the original line of scrimmage. And that was Schaefer. As the clock continues to run, 6 minutes and counting left in this one. Second down and 10.
So for both of these teams as they move on, Snohomish, this is the best they've played on defense really all year against a quality opponent. So it's encouraging to see. And again, they get the sack here. From Meadowdale, they should win next week against the number 8 team from Metro. But beyond that, they got to tighten things up on the defensive side of the ball if they want to make a run.
Yeah, you got to feel after that first round, they're going to be playing teams of this caliber.
Yeah.
They'll definitely going to be looking back on ways to improve. There's been plenty of them in this game.
Although not everyone they're going to play this year, coming up, is going to have a running back like Keegan Stitch. So to be fair, Keegan Stitch is a different kind of animal when it comes to the running back position at the high school level.
And we've seen what it opens up.
Yes.
All the way around for the Snohomish offense. As Tingstad throws a little screen to Butler, who catches it up the middle and burst of speed, gets to the outside. He's got a lot of green in front of him, gets across midfield.
He might be gone.
He is gone. A couple of guys chasing him, but there's not enough space. And Butler, that was can't even do the math that quickly. It's
77-yard screen pass.
Wow.
Well-designed play, just a middle screen to the halfback, and Butler let his blockers do their job, and then he did the rest, just blazing down the sideline.
Great burst of speed to get out in front of everybody, and once he's got that much headway, they're not going to catch him. That was an impressive run by him. And just like that, it's 56-34.
And I think some of this with the Snohomish with their defense, I think they're starting to get some of their other seniors in because it is senior night. Some of the seniors who are backups.
Sure.
Not to take anything away from Butler on that play, and it's just natural when you're up 56-28 in the fourth quarter, just mentally to let up a little bit.
The extra point is up and good. So 56-35 with 4:51 left to play.
I wouldn't mind seeing a foot race between Stitch and Butler.
Yeah, it'd be definitely be an interesting one. I think Butler might have it in a dead run, but the way Stitch is able to get to that next gear in traffic is pretty special.
Well, I mean, we got a track here. Let's get some starting blocks out, and of course they might both be a little tired after tonight.
They're young; they can handle it.
Says us old guys in our 30s.
I was never known for my speed anyway, so.
There was a brief time where I was, and then I filled out.
Reliving the glory days.
Keep the Springsteen music. Are they going to onside to the short side again?
No, it looks like he's lining up to give it a full swing this time. So we're talking about the ways that Meadowdale is approaching, the playoffs and what to do with this game and how to put it in your pocket and improve from it or to not think about it and all that. What about Snohomish, who's put together one of their best games of the year? And
I think they're the best game they've played all year, and so they have that now to go into what's likely to be the tiebreaker on Tuesday against probably Marysville-Pilchuck. Now, the one thing that they need to guard against is they played Marysville-Pilchuck in their season opener and won pretty handily.
Mm-hmm.
So Marysville-Pilchuck will remember that too, and Coach Carson, knowing him, he's going to get his players in the set of, hey, they're going to underestimate us. Let's get them.
Yep.
So I think for so much they need to guard against that, against being overconfident and know that this is a new season. A lot's changed since opening night. Let's come at this with almost a kind of a fresh attitude and go get these guys.
Yep.
So, but to be able to come off your best game of the season doesn't hurt.
Going into the playoffs, that's the way you want to be playing, right? And the coaching staff can point to this defensive performance that they've put together and say this is the way that we need to play if we want to make a run here.
Yeah.
As Stitch takes it. I don't know. It's we brought in the backup here. Jaden McClure. Jaden McClure taking it up the middle.
Yeah, I think Stitch has done enough for the night.
Yeah, well, and you don't want your workhorse to be.
Although I see him now. He's heading towards Coach. He's right behind Coach Smalley. I think he might be lobbying to get back in the game.
Wants to add to his numbers for the night.
Wouldn't you?
Absolutely. If I was as on fire as that kid is right now, give me the rock. Students are having fun down there. As it's McClure once more, this time fighting to stay at the line of scrimmage.
And again, with the defense, don't look at that necessarily the points that they gave up, because a couple of those last touchdowns,
sure,
they were up pretty handily at that point.
Yep.
I think they defensively taken the foot off the gas. Look at what they did when the game was in doubt, and that was more of what they can be capable of going forward. And not great, but it was more of a bend but don't break style of defense, and sometimes that's all you need when you have an offense like this.
Well, and they to start the game, they allowed their offense to get out to a 14-0, 14-3 lead.
Yeah.
And like you said, the bend but don't break mentality that they had that really started this game off on the right foot. If you're a Snohomish Panthers fan, 3rd down and 10 with less than 3 minutes to play here in this one. Ball on the 41-yard line. Jodok's going to hand it off once again, and McClure trying to bounce it to the outside. Not much going there. Picks up about 3.
And they also got a defensive touchdown tonight. And I don't know if they do anything special. I had a coach who, if you scored a defensive touchdown, he'd get you a pizza at the end of the season.
Oh, no kidding.
Free pizza. No one's going to turn that down.
I could go for some pizza right now. Any places close by that I should maybe go get a slice or something?
My favorite place is called Good Guys, but it's in Everett.
Okay.
They have the best ranch sauce. Oh, my God. Dipped in the crust afterwards.
Hell yeah. All right, I like that. 2 minutes to play as we start talking about our post-game meals.
Oh, the best pizza place around these parts is out in Seabeck.
Oh, there you go. Fred's,
or you go to Fred's.
Fred's the sponsor. All right.
Hey, Fred's. But really, the Seebeck pizza. Oh my goodness.
All right.
Of course, you have to know where Seebeck is.
No idea where that is.
It's a little blink and you'll miss it town on the Hood Canal.
Oh, gotcha.
On the Kitsap side.
Okay.
But they have a pizza place sells it by the slice. Oh my! I better stop now.
Getting hungry.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, so I'm a bit of a pizza snob.
Yeah.
And I'm admittedly a bit of a pizza snob.
As you should. You got the big slices, the thin crust.
Grease.
Yeah. Have you ever had Chicago style? Being that you're a Cubs fan, I would.
I have had Chicago.
Okay.
I've actually just recently was in Chicago, and numero uno on the list was getting me a big old deep dish. And it's delicious. It's not a pizza. It's a casserole.
But it's so good.
It's delicious. It's delicious.
I
I don't understand how you call it pizza.
Because they serve it in a pan, and it does have a crust.
Yeah, all right.
And I got, the one time I was in Chicago, I got a small, and I was barely able to eat half of it.
Yep.
Thing kicked my butt, but it was so good.
So good, yeah. I'm with you. Other thing I had in Chicago was the Italian beef, which is just like, how is this not a delicacy everywhere?
I saw that on an episode of Man vs. Food.
Oh, God.
And there's like a stance that you have to have.
Yeah, so you don't get it.
So if it does, the meat does fall, it's on the floor.
Right.
Not on your shirt.
Oh, but hey, they're still playing football out here.
We've gone off the rails.
1:45 and counting left to play here, and Mavericks taking over, and they've got their backup quarterback in now.
Nate Hebert, or Hebert.
Hebert. We'll go Bobby Hebert style.
I heard him on the radio this morning.
Really?
Yeah, he's a radio personality in New Orleans with the Seahawks getting ready to play down there.
Okay. And so Hebert this time hands it off. The running back is Sami El-Haddad. El-Haddad is the running back, number 42.
El-Haddad, okay. Yeah, good. Now to get your backup some reps. And the thing about high school football is it's not like the NFL or college where you can film practices.
Mm-hmm.
And typically teams do not film JV games. So this is one of the rare chances to get your backup some reps on film for the coaches to evaluate them.
And get some tape.
Yes.
Yeah, so El-Haddad again up the middle, gets across the 50.
And Snohomish, they're shuttling some players in too, which is great. You get your backups a chance to take the field on a Thursday night instead of a Friday. And obviously, if being at senior night, seniors do get priority.
Sure. And El-Haddad again, this time going up the right side. Gets enough for a first down.
And a nice job by the backup Meadowdale offensive line. They're opening up that hole. That was good work by them.
When the game is over,
30 seconds left there. 34 seconds and counting.
And then I just want you to turn everything off.
56-35. It's looking like that's going to be the final score in this one. A great performance by the Snohomish Panthers, and one that maybe you want to forget if you're a Meadowdale Maverick, and get ready for the playoffs as the conference champion.
It won't make Lakeside or Nathan Hale shaking their boots. And hey, maybe they'll give whoever they play next week a false sense of security.
Maybe.
So that's it.
And that'll do it. A big victory here on senior night for Snohomish. Yeah.
Yeah, and player of the game tonight, I think it's a pretty obvious choice. Keegan Stitch.
Yeah, number 27. We've been calling his number all night. They called his number on the field all night, and he was up to the task. A junior getting it done for his seniors on senior night.
That's the thing. He's been a starter since his freshman year, and for all the West Coast South, they when they look at the Snohomish roster and see that he's a junior, it's like, oh, we have to deal with this guy again.
Yeah. He did it between the tackles. He got on the outside. He caught some passes. And really, he was just the steady hand that moved the ball, moved the chains for them all night long.
And he had the play of the game on that 3rd and 20 when to get Snohomish that last touchdown drive before the half. it really just kind of sucked a lot of the life out of the Meadowdale team.
Yeah, they're doing a little draw play to just kind of, get a little extra space for the punt.
And force Meadowdale to use their last time out. Instead,
Yeah.
they got a 60-yard run from Stitch.
Yeah, and sets him up for a score before the half. So,
yeah.
Just one of the many plays that he put forth, and Keegan Stitch is our player of the game. And once again, from Veteran Memorial Stadium at Snohomish High School, 56-35, the Snohomish Panthers over the Meadowdale Mavericks. It's been a great one here tonight. We're looking forward to the playoffs as we get into playoff season. It's going to be awfully exciting here in the state of Washington for football. Alongside Luke Windsor, great calling the game with you once again.
Likewise.
I'm Mike Kennett. Thanks for having me here at STSPN, and thanks all of you for watching STSPN.